Good afternoon and welcome back to Sunderland. We are at the National Esports Performance Campus for the Rocket League Interservice Championship 2025 presented by BFBS and their fantastic esports team. We have another Interservice fixture. It is Army versus Royal Navy this time, and with me, who better than the man himself, the lead for Army Rocket League, Fezzy. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I am great, mate. Looking forward to this matchup. Obviously, we got Merlins that is, do you know what? Upsetting a lot of people.
Yeah, they are.
To be honest, 3 players not really played together. 3 underlooked players, in my opinion. And yeah, God, are they upsetting people? They're quick to the ball. They've got the mechs. You got Alex, Aggro Biker, unreal mech.
That's him.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
Alex.
God.
I spell it with 2 L's, but he says I spell it wrong. Yeah, unreal player. You've got Zero, who's such a young upcoming player. Rapid to ball, and then we've got Grand Pad, the granddad of the server. We've got Lord Padius. Zero Bex. He tries. He can roll his car. But I tell you what, you need someone. You need someone to push that ball. You need someone to make a decision. That guy's the one.
I can see that. I mean, it looks like the future of Army Rocket League is in safe hands with these players coming up through the ranks. It's great to see. I'm chatting a little bit with Zero across the week so far. Seems like a really down-to-earth, funny kid as well. And I'm excited to see how he performs. I think it's my first time actually seeing the Merlins in action this tournament for me. So I'm definitely excited to see it. Across the way, it is the Royal Navy Orcas, led by, I think, Dylan, the lead for Navy Rocket League, is behind them, coaching them as well. And again, that team is also full of new players. Horizon's making a return to action now after a good year and a half on some kind of deployment that I won't ask about. Alongside Coxie, who played last year, alongside Pad, who kind of subbed in for the Navy. And, God, who's the third? It is Arcane, another new talent that I've seen from the Navy, who is genuinely quite scary to look at. Not in person as a player. He's really impressed me so far, and with how young he is, I've enjoyed watching him be composed in this kind of environment. It's his first time on this kind of pressure as well. So, I mean, you know about your players more than I do. Talk to me a little bit about Zero. What's his story? Because I'm a bit curious.
Zero. So I first met him at there was an event called Ex Mercury Contra, and he was representing his core. Unreal player, willing to learn, would take the criticism, and do you know what? He'd attack the criticism and come back to prove you wrong. And where are we now? Currently a GC1 Div 4 player, borderline in GC2, unreal player, and he's only going to get better. We've got Aggro Biker at the top, Alex, spelt with 2 L's, just for his knowledge. They're one of the meckiest players in our server. You ask the guy to do a shot, he can do it. He is one of the best coaches we have in the British Army. He is a down-to-earth speaker, and we'll tell you how it is. We have Grand Pad to the right. Obviously, as you can see on the cam, aging away. However, he's still here, and he is committed. He is a solid player. The demos, the chasing, and I'll tell you what, you do see some mechs from him at some points. And you're going to see that today. You see him jump off the wall. He may whiff. It's a possibility. However, there's air dribbles in him. We've seen it on com nights. We've seen it against other teams. These are 3 people you want to watch.
Well, let's go back 1 year and to when Padius did sub in for the Navy last year. And you know, he did turn a few heads with some of what he was doing. And it's been a year since then. There's a year more practice. And we've seen the likes of Coxie for the Navy come back after last year as well and be ridiculously better. So the improvement clearly has been there. Zero's improved since last year as well. It's great to see across all 3 services improvement. And I love that. I love that. As you can see here, after round 4, these are the live standings currently for seedings. The Falcons reverse sweeping the RAS Storm Shadows. What a result that was for them. They lead the seedings right now. The Storm Shadows in second. Kestrel's third, leading the rest of the pack here. And the Shadows followed up by Merlins, Orcas, Tempest, and then the Hammerheads, who've had sadly a bit of a rough start to them. But it's an introduction by fire for the Hammerheads. I'm sure this is an inspiration for them to improve their game and head into next year's season with their heads held high. But of course, Fezzy, this is only seeding day. This ultimately means nothing.
This all happens again tomorrow. From what we've seen today, tomorrow is going to be fantastic. Let's just see how many more upsets we can. And we have Merlins and Orcas kicking off. Zero with a kickoff, perfect to the right. Horizon's full boost, one player that you really need to watch And that is exactly why he might have had a year and a half away, but that guy has got skill. That was a beautiful pop-up, following straight to the backboard, 1v3'd British Army Merlins.
It's a player with proper inter-service pedigree, and just Rocket League pedigree in general. I remember at Insomnia 70 or 71, he actually sat with the RAF because I think Navy weren't there at the time. And we played a tournament with him, and we actually upset a really team. I think that's about 1900, and obviously I'm bad at the game, so you can imagine how well we must have played. He's got the talent, he's got the ability, but also I quite fancy him as an IGL, as a good in-game lead for that team, especially with the lack of experience there. It's only Coxey's second LAN, and it's Arcane's first. So you need someone to settle their sort of nerves and direct them. And I think he does exactly that. And on the other side of the pitch, we're looking to the likes of Agro Biker or Alex. I can't believe that's actually him. I didn't realise. To lead the army team the same way. You've got the experience of Padius as well, and I'm sure they will create chances. The Merlins. It's just about whether they can take them, whether they have the clinicality to take them. I think they do. Time will tell.
They will. The thing with Merlins, you need to give them a minute to settle in. Once Alex has figured out the opposing team, he will make a game plan. He's very good. It's the same as Horizons. I played with Horizons a couple of years ago, and he will dictate what you need to do. If you need to push but you think it's awkward, just trust that leader and make it happen. And that's the exact same that Alex will do. We can already see, like, the game is a minute and a half in, and it's all changed now. Alex and Had and Zero's figured it out, and now they're being more aggressive and keeping Orcas pinned back.
Yeah, the pressure all inside the Royal Navy Orcas defensive third. The Merlins have upped their game, applying constant pressure, rotating short onto pads and not going all the way back, which is the important part. You know, trying to chase the game. You never should rotate all the way back if it's avoidable. That's a slight error. Horizons picks up the ball inside the penalty area. 2-0 to the Orcas. And you have to say, Fezzi, it came against the run of play. That was a sheer counter-attack after good Merlin's pressure. And the lead doubled.
It's hard for Lord Pad. He's a solid player, but leave him on his own. He does struggle to keep calm and composed, but he did try. He tried getting the read. Unfortunately, he was unable to get it. And that's what Orcas should realise and try and capitalise on. That's a good pop from Zero, unlucky from Agro Biker. Flip reset to the wall to recover was perfect.
Yeah, he was that was Arcane. That was
Arcane. That was a beautiful recovery.
He's an absolute talent. He is. What a find by Dylan and the Royal Navy to bring Arcane into the fold. It's making the difference right now. Alongside Horizon and Coxey, it's a solid looking Orcas side. But the Merlins have already ruffled a few feathers today among the rest of the service teams. And so I don't think they'll be phased by what they're seeing, especially with what you're saying regarding Alex and his coaching abilities and his calming abilities as an in-game lead. That's a chance. Will it be an army player to get there? Up goes Padius. There's the flick goalwards, off the crossbar and down. So close to getting back into this game. The pressure remains inside the Orcas half, but eventually they clear.
That was unlucky from Merlins there. Unlucky read from Pad. It's gone straight to the backboard. Agro Biker full boost. He's going to pop it up, looking for Zero. Zero is there. That's unlucky. That's such a good read from Horizons. He's so quick to get up in the air and block. Agro Biker with a pop. It's straight to Arcane. He's missed the boost. He's now got it. 100 against 100. Zero's going to push in. He's got a good 50 there straight to Alex, but he's got no boost. He's going to have to return. Foxy with a backboard. Oh, Zero's just a little bit too far forward. Zero's a little bit caught out. He's going straight up. Agro Biker's full boost. He's going to take a touch here, taking it towards his own net. They need to calm down Merlins. I feel like they're rushing a little bit at the moment.
Not quite settled just yet, but it will come. It will come.
No, it will come. It will. It normally does take them a game or so, and obviously you know what it's like. When you sit up in your room and you're playing, it's fine. But when you sat there, you've got the crowd. You can hear us in the background on the big TV. True. Obviously not Pad, because he's got to an age now where his hearing's starting to go.
Oh, Pad, we love you. We love you, Padius.
Agro Biker with a freestyle. Oh, I thought he got the fate then to go under, but that was beautiful from Arcane.
You gotta love it from the Merlins. They haven't given this one up. They're still chasing the game, and chasing the game is hard to do, especially in the first game of best of fives when the two teams are still working each other out. There's always going to be a little bit of tentativeness, and like I call it a chess game, just to see who blinks first almost. And that is why I've seen now, since that second goal has gone in, it's settled into somewhat of a rhythm. and the Merlins look a lot better, a lot more controlled. Will that find the top corner? No, it's off the crossbar and away. Twice the Merlins have been unlucky there. And if those had gone in, it could have been entirely different. But instead, the Orcas hanging on to the lead as someone flashes dangerously across the base goal again into the final 15 seconds now.
I'll tell you what, Snow, you say about players not giving up. You asked me to pick 3 players out of the army that won't give up. These are the 3. Look, they're 2-0 down. They're going for shots that they want to do, and they're all smiling. And this is what we want from them. It's not all about the wins. Like everyone, if we won every game in the world, we'd be competing with Zen. We're not. We're not. So these 3 there, they're having fun. And do you know what? Effort to them.
Yes.
It was a few mistakes, like a bit of defensive mistakes, but these are not high-ranking GCs. They're not GC2s. They're close, but there's still mistakes that they need to fix on.
Well, these are, I mean, and this goes for everybody. These are serving personnel, some of which have families and kids, and they still find the time to do what they enjoy and they love, and that's what this is about. You know, you're right. It's not about the wins. Obviously, we all want to win, but just competing in this environment is something that, as a kid, I dreamed of, and I wouldn't have had the chance to do so if it wasn't for the Interservice Rocket League scene. It's allowed me to progress into professional. It's something special. So when I see people like Padius going for shots like that, there it is, the opening goal from the Merlins this time, the Army lead.
He'll be clipping that, and that's getting added into our Discord. He will be buzzing with that. That's a beautiful shot from Pad. No, fair play to him. That was good aggression straight from the kickoff. 9 seconds to score a goal. That's beautiful from Pad. And he's won the kickoff straight to right. I don't know if Zero got the boost. He didn't. He's had to back off. Arcane to the left. This is a passing play from Horizons to Arcane. Oh no, sorry. Horizons is up. He's misflipped. That's Lord Pad straight to the middle. Can he pop it into the centre? Who's on the back bar from Royal Orcas? They'll be covering it. Arcane's there. He's going to pop it up. Aggro Biker's pushed it. Zero's going to have to back off a boost. This could be a good pop from Arcane straight to Horizons for the redirect. That was unlucky.
Do you know, Fezzi, I never asked you, what was your scoreline prediction for this series?
I think Merlins can take this.
I think so too.
I genuinely think, I am not knocking anything from Orcas. Horizons, Arcane and Coxie, an unreal team. But these 3 don't give up.
No, they don't.
And they're not going to. And even if Orcas do take the win, Merlins have still won it in their hearts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they'll take this as a win.
I like it.
They play Storm Shadows, they play Falcons. They might lose, but if they've got a goal, they've won.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
I like that a lot. Oh, it's a great effort as well from Padius. Tell you what, he's rifling a few shots.
Aggro
What a
Biker.
goal from Aggro Biker. There he is, Alex, the coach, the bagsman. What a finish. But it all is stemming from Padius. The first shot forced the error, and it bounced out to Aggro Biker, and he makes no mistake. What a finish. And just like that, momentum has switched. You can see now Merlins are in control.
It's like a completely different game, this one. Horizons he's trying hard. Arcane's pushing up. It's just they can't handle the speed that these are showing off at the moment. That's a good shot. Alex was trying to block that as hard as possible, but the pop, there was a bit of a miscommunication there between Zero and Alex, but it was just unfortunate. A little bit more comms needed there, but you can see Alex in the middle. He's speaking to his team. He's going, right, let's calm down. Make sure you're listening for the comms. He will work this out and calm the team down.
You may notice there as well on the right side of your screens when the face cams are up, a hulking Scotsman behind the Royal Navy Orcas side deals T, or Dylan as he's actually known by, the Royal Navy lead, standing behind his players, his first team, his strongest footing in this tournament, trying to get them back into this game. Remember, this is Navy first against Army third. The Merlins pulling off an incredible feat here if they can get this win. Though, to be honest, from a neutral perspective, for me, as that one goes in, Coxie forces it home. I genuinely don't know which way this is going to go. I am the neutral party in this. I am just simply a random Air Force person. I don't know. I don't know. This could easily go Game 7. For the neutral, great. But for you and Dilza, maybe not so great. But, I mean, it's a testament to the quality that you have. The depth of Army Rocket League over this last year has drastically improved.
It has, and it is. It's hard sitting here and commentating for a team that I want to win. However, on the same hand, I want to see the Navy do well. Last year, they struggled. They struggled to get the teams here. It's hard for them. There's a lot of deployments, and it was a missed opportunity for the Navy. And to see Disler bring two solid teams down here, and now we've got, well, it's 2-2 against Merlins that have been a team that have competed at every LAN we've had. And to see Royal Navy Orcas come at us and produce this, and to see Horizons back,
it's so nice, isn't it?
Is amazing.
Yeah.
And playing twos with him, and he taught, like 2 years ago, he taught me so much. And then obviously deployments again, he's been away, and to see him back, and look, it's not like he's lost much. He's slowly getting back into it.
No, and this is what it's all about. I mean, end of the day, as we always like to say on these streams, all of us, Navy, Army, RAF, we're all colleagues. We all do, work in our primary duties that intertwines with each other in some weird way, shape or form. But when we come together for these kinds of events, for these sporting events, it's a phenomenal thing. And we all do get along, but Horizon's getting along nicely with that near post, because he snuck it in. It's 3-2. The comeback complete for now, but they must maintain that composure to stay ahead of this Merlin side, who started off rapid, really rapid. But they conceded a couple of goals that maybe they know they could save. That's a nice skyline. As they look to start a comeback again, because momentum once again has switched.
That is a really nice skyline. Yeah, you're right, Stal. That tickled me. That is halfway through a conversation. That was a nice skyline, man. No, they are. The Orcas, they've changed the game up this game, and I think Merlin's got a bit too confident, and they kind of sat back a little bit reserved, and it's let the Navy bring the goals back, and they're still going. They want more. They just need to stay conserved in the defence. But what I'm seeing from Navy at the moment is fantastic. The pressure, the boost staff. I'm not seeing a lot of demos from either team, which is normally quite weird, because in a high level match you'd see a lot of demos, but these are staying like nice, grounded, and taking the chances when they can.
Coxey going for fake plays in the Big 25. That's not something you would have seen from him last year. And again, it's a testament to the work that he's put in to get better. I mean, Psycho, you sat next to me, you must remember the state of the Navy team last year, with all due respect. They've come so far in 1 year, it's insane, and you've quite rightly, Fezzi, highlighted their quality in this game, and they've adapted to the Merlin's pressure. They've got round it, and for these final 30 seconds, all they've got to do is retain the lead. There's a shot at the near post, aggro biker with a super save, and now it's all about relieving the pressure. It's all about getting downfield, getting the ball in the right half of the pitch for the Merlins. There's going to be a chance here for 0-0 with Horizons with a save. Last ditch. Was that the chance? Is there going to be a triple tournament match? Series point for Orcas? Still 10 to play. Fezzi, take us through.
Oh, full aggression now that's all we need from Merlins. There was a misflip from Horizons, a bit of a weak shot from Alex. He'll be upset about that, but all they need to do is stay on the ball, just push as possible. That's Alex straight up to the ceiling. It's going to drop, it's going to come off Alex's car and drop. That is so unfortunate for Merlins, going from a 2-0 lead and 3 goals from Orcas, but fair play to Orcas. They didn't let the two goal lead upset them, and they've just come back scoring 3 amazing goals. And me personally, Horizons, he's just like the glue of the team. He's involved in every goal that happens.
Everything goes through him. He's a player of experience and composure. He's done it so many times before. He knows the Interservice scene. He knows you guys. He knows us very well, and it shows he can exploit that at times. But I think what he's doing well is he's controlling the state of his team from a mental perspective as well. He's really keeping them together, not letting them panic. And I haven't seen them panic yet at all. The goals that Merlin scored was simply really good goals. They weren't necessarily mistakes that the Orcas made. They were carved open wonderfully by the Merlins. When you're conceding goals like that, and you almost just say, all right, yeah, fair enough. It's like a 30-yard screamer in football. Can't do anything about it, and you reset and you go again. They managed to claw it back somehow. They stayed cool, and they got the win in the end. Now at 2-0, it feels a little bit harsher on the Merlins.
It is, but it like you said, when you get a 2-goal head lead, as soon as that other goal goes in, that momentum for you as a player has gone, and that's the issue. But hopefully the game has kicked off. We're back into it now. Just as Horizon scored, we couldn't have delayed that anymore. So Arcane straight to the backboard. Agrobiker went for the clear, but he bounced off the ceiling. Zero was caught a bit lacking, and Horizon straight over his car. Lopad he just couldn't reach it. That was unfortunate. But hopefully this is where British Army Merlins lock in. Lord Pad is going for the boost stab. Zero's up, he pops it in, but Horizons gets there first. Aggro Biker with a pinch. That's Coxie on the backboard. Arcane to clear. Aggro Biker. Coxie's been bumped out by Lord Pad. All he's got to do is drop it down. Zero's been bumped by Coxie. That was an amazing bump.
Yeah. That is brutal defending. That looked a certain goal had that not gone over the crossbar. And do you know what? I don't want this to end. I want to see more of these two teams. These are brilliant. And here goes Aggro Biker 1 versus 1 with Coxie. Coxie dives early, and what a dive it was!
For the shot.
Padius into Zero! 1-1. There it is for the Merlins. There's the pressure. The first one by Aggro Biker, the second by Padius. Drops it onto the post. 0 there. And we're all square again.
That's just what you want as an attacking free. Literally, one hits it, the other one's following. If it don't go in, I tell you what, follow again. And that was brilliant. And Pads up straight away. I came with a lovely pop. Aggro Biker's already challenged. Pad with a hit across, unluckily enough. Horizon straight up, flip reset, pops it. Zero's there to cover. That's beautiful defense from Zero. Poxy straight on it though. Lord Pad to take a touch. Aggro Biker took it off him. It's straight pop. Horizon can't get it. It's a beautiful pop from him. He would have called that as well. He would have called, right, I've got this. Had did jump at Aggro straight over him and just, well, he lobbed them all. Lobbed them all. Now he's loving life.
You can see them smiling there in the left-hand side of your screens. Now, I agree with you. I quite clearly saw the comm, right? It's obvious the comm was there. I'm going to give Paddy the benefit. I think he jumped. As Zero goes up, can he get that? No. I think Paddy has jumped. And I'm going to say he didn't commit to the jump because he heard the comm. What a shot by Padius again. How does he do it? This man rifles shots at this net like I've never seen before. He just finds the target somehow and it's causing all kinds of danger. You can see it's all Merlin's pressure now. It's 3 fully deserved.
Padius straight up every time he scores. We need to be switching to his camp. Oh God, this guy is absolute tense in his bicep. He is absolutely. He's so happy about scoring, and that's where else you get the joy of that. You've scored one goal.
Nowhere.
It's not a triple flip reset. It's not a musty double touch. It just went in the net. But look how happy he is. That's the thing I absolutely love about Pad. Don't matter how it is, what mech you use, he just wants to get the ball in the net. And to be honest, that's how you win games. But yeah, it's beautiful start from Merlin's. Just they can't switch off the 2-0 in. That's a musty flip into the edge of ball. It's going to get the 50. That's unlucky. Pad to clear. Oh, that's an unlucky shot from Pad there.
I think Padius is fast becoming a fan favourite here. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're all getting under his spell right now. We all want him to do well. And do you know what? You are right. Where else do you see it? This is the magic of the Interservices. Every goal matters. Doesn't matter what team you play for. It's all for the pride and representation of your respective services. And it's all for the camaraderie that you're seeing in front of your very eyes. The encroach now in just below the halfway point of this game. It is a triple match or series point for the Orcas, but right now they are being penned back by the Merlins. Not for the first time either, I must say. The Orcas have shown their powers of recovery already, but this already, Pezzi, has a different vibe to it entirely.
Yeah, I feel like they've definitely changed the strategy now when Alex has just said, right, listen, go for it, have fun, try and score, get the clears when possible, nothing silly. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. Zero being really patient on the backboard. That's beautiful to see as well. Lord Pad is going to try and get the 50 there. It's worked, but Arcane got the 100 boost. He's popped it in. Horizons is there. Straight to Arcane, but he couldn't read it. That's Coxie out of position. That's an open net. This Pad on the ball, they're all going to get back. He needs to be a little bit quicker there. Just pops it over. That's a good play from Horizon, saving his team again in the defence.
2 minutes just under the play now. Aggro Biker looks in field. Coxie's there. Another good interception from that nice Halo topper. Don't see many toppers these days played in Rocket League unless you're having a bit of a laugh and a joke, but I have to say, that suits his character. Aggro Biker onto his own backboard. That lovely BAES tag in game. Runs out of boost. The resultant shot. Well saved by Zero. Up goes Horizons. Knocks it to his right. And it will be the Merlin's defender just to guide the ball away down his left hand side. Gets the demo as well. Well done, Padius. Went for the kill. Absolutely hunted and gets the pinch in field. Horizon's forced into a very awkward save. Done very well to get that away. Another pinch towards the net. It's like a magnet right now to that Orcas net, but somehow they're surviving. You must say the pressure is all coming from the Merlins at the moment. They are hunting for a win. There's the bump. There's the shot and away by Horizons.
Honestly, it's just full aggression at the moment. They need to keep going. Fortunately, Arcane and Horizons have got full boost though, so they're going to play that out pretty safely. Zero down to 40, maintaining the boost, looking for the demos as well. It's a good shot from Pad. Alex is there. It's very wide. Zero needs to rob the boost. He's robbed the boost. Arcane boostless. Aggro bike. It's a 2v1 at the moment. It's just been bumped. Lord Pad in the back, but that's beautiful play. Arcane following it through, and I think that was Coxie on the. No, it's Horizons on the bump to get Aggro Biker out the net. It was a beautiful play.
Clinical, and that is the type of bumps that are needed. They don't necessarily result in demos every single time, but sometimes just driving at your opponent slowly in front of the net will be enough to put them off. But that was a full-on bump, the most you can get before it went to a demo, and it led to a goal, which makes it an interesting final 30 seconds of play. Certainly for me, maybe not so much for Dilzer and Fezzi, as Padius flicks it down the right-hand side. Riders will cut back across. A bit of a double commit from the Navy there. Arcane pinches away though. Straight back towards that net from Agrobiker. Horizons dealing with it. Zero comes across, hangs it high. Will there be a clearance? There is. Only as far as Agrobiker onto the backboard. No double touch present. And then they're bumping each other. There's a little bit of panic now. They need this chance. One more chance to go. Is Zero. Can't get there. It's dropped down above the car of Horizons. He thought it was coming straight back down. And the Merlins are on the board.
Yeah, that was that last few seconds. That was weird. That was a bad push from Zero. Should have stayed grounded, at least gone to the backboard, not pushed his third man. As soon as that ball started dropping down, I thought Horizons had it, but he'd gone too far forward. So we did. I'll admit it. British Army Merlins got a little bit lucky there, but
Sometimes you need it.
Well played to the guys. We also got very unlucky. The shots. How many times do you want to hit the crossbar?
Yeah.
I hate it. My favourite thing to do. But
There
no,
was
that
a
was
lot.
unreal game from Orcas. Merlins. Well, I know said Falcons there. I thought I was watching them there. Only joking, Pad. You're not going on first team. But no, unreal game from Merlins.
Now, I've just had a sneak peek / glance unintentionally to my right hand side where my lovely producer Jonah is sat, and I may have seen a rather interesting thing that you may or may not see soon on your screen. I'll let that one just be teased for a little bit. I think you'll find it funny, Fezzi, to be honest. I think we are kicked off now for game 4, and you can immediately see the Merlins back on the hunt, looking to open up the scoring here. And I think the first goal in this game, Fezzi, is going to be very, very important.
I've also, just going off topic, I've also just noticed it's down as Stelios and Psycho, so I am now.
You're Psycho. You're
the,
Psycho.
Yeah, I'm 2.2k.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
fair play.
But right, Lord Pad with a bump. Aggro Biker full boost. He's going for the demo on the horizon. That was good play. Zero now. It's getting a little bit too close together. Zero's going to push to the right. He's going to force it through, but it's gone to Coxie. It's unfortunate. Straight to the backboard. Horizons is there, but posting out. Zero's got a bit of time now. Coxie's chasing him. Pops it up. Is Alex going to be there? He is. Pop to the backboard. Paddy's going to be there if he misses. Horizons with a great clear. Zero's quick to get up there. That's going to go straight down. Arcane's read that pretty well. Horizons with a demo as well on Zero. Alex all on his own up front. Zero's now back in with 100 boost.
Just over a minute now played in this game. Nothing to break the deadlock just yet. That's another fine shot. Another fine save by Padius. He is playing really well. I'm not going to lie to you, Fezzi. I did not expect this performance from Padius. I'm a fan of what he's doing right now. Arcane touches it away. And it was a good touch actually, because there was 2 Merlins players looming behind him, ready to tap that one home had he faltered, but he didn't. And the Merlins now with some defending to do. It is Zero on his own backboard. Plays it away to the left-hand side where Agrobiker is waiting now. Off the left-hand side will beats Arcane as well. And it's caused an awkward touch. And it does take the sweeper that Coxie is in that particular play to get the ball away. And the Merlins are pushing. They're banging on the door here.
They are. It's honestly, I've watched these players play. I've been playing with them community nights. I've, done the typical, been on Smurfs. I've played in their level. I've played at the rank they're playing at. You get them at LAN, it's like Zen's taught them. They just turn into like a mini Zen, and you see the unexpected. You see people like Pad pushing for stuff where you're like, I don't normally see him pushing for that. But it's the confidence that you get at LAN, and it's working. He's playing unreal. Zero is holding his own so well, and you can just clearly see who is the glue of that team, and it is Alex. And the mechs he's doing, the speed that he's doing, the pops that he's doing, that's catching him off guard. I came with a great clear with demo from Agrobiker. I think Horizons bumped him into that demo. Zero on the wall, has not got much boost. Agro's just behind him, pads to the right. He's going to play his third man. Zero with a flick. He flicks over one. Arcane's not ready. That's Agrobiker in for the goal. That's beautiful play. Absolutely. The zero boost flick from Zero straight to the backboard. Complete Horizons gone. Arcane just got a little touch to it, but Alex is always going to be there to finish that.
Yeah, he's absolutely flinged it somehow with 0 boost. I'm not quite sure how he got that much of an effective flick, and Alex was on hand. Agrobiker was on hand to tap it home, and so you need all that. So awkward touch by Horizon again. They got away with it. Planned, you would probably say. I mean, he's got way more control of the ball than I do. Agrobiker will go up for this as well. It's cleared away. Padius now will take the boost-ish or try to rotate back. He's dead for his troubles. Coxie going full send onto the back wall of the Merlins as Padius is touched 3-0 now. Down the right side wing, will square up with Arcane, who's got limited boost, but he does well. Important touch. Agrobiker cuts back inside, knocks it down. There will be a Coxie connection with onto this shot. Padius tips it away, and Merlins are within a minute and a half of forcing a deciding Game 5.
The thing is, I'm thinking of Stell, right? So we've just seen it, Falcons, Storm Shadows. Storm Shadows went 2 up. Falcons reverse sweep.
Reverse.
Are we seeing it now? Orcas was 2 up, but he's brought back 2-1. If Merlins win this, are we going to see the second sweep of the day?
They're asking a question, right?
That's it. Is it going to be a reverse sweep? Maybe it's just what the army like doing. And as Agrobiker puts it across the field, it's going straight to 0. Horizon's going to take a soft touch with that. Pad's going to try and force it. Gets baked out by Horizons. Agro's there to clear. Pad needs to turn around, but Arcane's pushing it forward. Oh, ooh. Double demo. The demo from Coxie straight to Agrobiker and 0. Well, he got revenge for his teammate. Agrobiker with a ceiling pin straight down to Horizon's 50. That was unfortunate from Alex there.
Close. Very, very close. I mean, you asked it. I mean, you said it yourself. It is the million-dollar question. Converting that match point is the hardest skill, and I see it in professional rugby league when I'm coaching it. Like it's the most difficult thing to do is convert that match point. So when you ask the question as a team that has 0 games on the board, and you keep asking the question, can you convert this one? No, you can't. Can you convert this one? No, you can't. The pressure just keeps on mounting. The longer this game goes on, the longer the series stays alive for the Merlins, the more and more doubt will sink into the minds of the Orcas. And it's down to them and their mental capacity to see if they can ride the wave that the Merlins are currently on and see them out. But on this evidence, we are going to be going down to a Game 5 unless there's a drastic twist of the tail. There isn't going to be that. It is, instead, a Game 5. And the action continues to unfold live across multiple platforms on Twitch and YouTube related to the Forces. And we are blessed to be witnessing this day 1 round robin action because it has been phenomenal. And these two sides are a gleaming example of what Interservice Rocket League is like.
I told you, you can't underestimate Merlins. I understand the first, second, third team. People look at the third team going, well, we've played the first, we've played the second. How good can the third? Well, you're seeing it now. Royal Navy Orcas first team, Merlins 2 games down. We're now at a possibility of a reverse sweep. Unreal. Each player deserves a pat on the back. That was a phenomenal game. 1-0. Like quite a close game compared to the first one. However, let's see what this game brings in.
Well, one more game to do it. This is where you need your heroes, your big players to step up. This is where the magic happens. It is a best of 5. They've got to this point. We're basically at a blank slate. What are the IGL saying? What is Dylan saying behind those rather smiley Orcas players? What does Alex say to his Merlin side? Fezzy, what are you thinking as Army manager right now?
Well, I'm just completely proud. Win or lose, these 3 have done absolutely phenomenal. And to be honest, when you do start creating teams, you do have to think about how do the players play during the seasons. But how a player plays at LAN is something else that you need to take into consideration. And 0 has just proven, whilst I talk about the man himself, 0, he's proven his ability to play under the pressure, to get the goals when needed. And this is what we want to see as managers, as game leads. This is what we want from our guys. And 1-0 into the final. Whoever takes this game wins. A possibility of a reverse sweep for Merlins. And Padius now comes in.
He's done it again.
Agro has been the glue for the team, and now he's about to get carried. Like Pad with the beautiful shot straight over the Orcas, unstoppable.
Lord Padius, Lord by name, Lord by nature. He is playing out of his skin. What an improvement. I just didn't expect to see this level of... I expected some improvement to a degree, but this level of clinicality, this level of ground shooting, he is so far different to the player he was last year. Incredible to see. Zero as well, you know, a shadow of his former self. He's so much better now. They've clearly worked on their game as he claws that one underneath his own crossbar. And now, for the first time in the series, it's the Merlins in front. And the mentality, hopefully for them, won't change, but they're all human. Now that you're defending a lead, you don't want to be too passive. You don't want to invite the Orcas onto you. You're asking for trouble. Right now, it's the Orcas that need to chase the game, and they will eventually start to take more and more risks. Capitalizing on those risks is Merlin's best bet to put this game out of reach. Or, as you can see what they're doing right now, is they're going hunting for a third.
No, you could see it there still. Merlin's consistently under pressure. And Agrobiker with the 50 to get the third. And no, so you put teams under pressure, and we've witnessed it on stream. Hestrels was under pressure. After 4 or 5 shots from the opposing team, there's bound to be a goal. Merlins have just proved that, well, that's not always the case. Under pressure for a good minute, and somehow managed to come away with it with a goal on the other side. Agrobiker being patient in the defence. He's waiting for his teammates to go for the clear. And if they can't get it, guess what? He can. It's great play from British Army Merlins. It's just the need to stay on it. Do not take a step back. Had with the push. Arcane with the 50. Agrobiker is there, but Cox is going to reach out first. He didn't. He missed it. Horizons to clear. Arcane with a soft touch on the backboard. Horizon with a pop. Zero's quick enough to reach it there. Agrobiker's got a jump. Pads at the back with no boost. That's on the double. That's so unfortunate to bounce off the crossbar and the post and come down. It's good for Zero to be there though. Great positioning from them.
What a shot that was. His rifle that went into the top left and it just postage stamped and came out. But you described the pattern of play earlier as Merlin's caught maybe on the counter-attack and gave him a sucker punch. That was the same pattern of play that won Orcas their first and second game. They were the ones sucking up the pressure and counter-attacking effectively. Suddenly, the table has turned entirely. It's the Merlins who are effectively counter-attacking, not committing too much, and are now just beginning to play the clock down, second by second. Every attack that is unsuccessful for the Royal Navy Orcas is another second that the clock ticks down and gets closer to 0 and 0 and 0. The job is done now. The job is done, in my opinion, for Merlins. If they don't do anything drastically wrong, the series is theirs, and they have another win in the seeding day.
That's it. If they take the pressure off now, it just invites Orcas to put the pressure on. That's not what we want. We want to be seeing this. Go for the shots. Keep the boost. Go for the demos. Go for the risky plays. You're 3-0 up. If you can try and get another one, it's just more of a limit that they've got to come back to. But that's Arcane on the side wall. He pops it over. Horizon's going for the boost. Foxy just couldn't reach it in time. Horizons will take the shot. That's it open. Agro's going to push it round. Zero knows to go back post. He's got a force. There's no one behind. Let's go for the demo from Arcane. That was unfortunate crossbar now. That's beautiful from Zero there. He managed to save his team from losing a goal back. Low pads on the ball. He pops it up. That's it. Oh, that was nearly top bins. That was unfortunate from Merlins. They are not giving up the pressure. Needs to be a big bag from Arcane. Alex to the sideball, he can't get the read, so he's going to have to go for the 50. That's fortunate. This is great playing from both games.
Indeed it is, and it does go in the end, just at the minute mark. Still something to think about for the Merlins in terms of defending this lead. And of course, still something for the Orcas to chase now, giving themselves a lifeline. But I must say again, even that comes against the run of play. This time, it was a full spell of Merlin's pressure, which didn't end in a goal. And the sucker punch go in the reverse way this time. Just makes things rather interesting in these final few seconds. Should of course still be Merlin's game to lose. I still can't see it happening for the Orcas, unfortunately for them. But they can at least launch themselves at the Merlins right now without anything to fear. As Coxie has to watch his ball go back to his captain Horizons, who beats one, looks to beat Zero as well. Zero's challenge is a good one into Padius, launches it now downfield. And if it's going to come for the Orcas, it has to come now. We head into the final 25. Fezzi, I'll give you those, my friend. Take us through.
Yeah, 25 seconds to go. It's definitely doable. That's Horizons up in the air. Coxie's no boost. He's got to go for boost, but Lordbag gets the pinch. Arcane is up. He's hitting it towards the backboard. Alex is there. That's the man you want there, but he drops it straight to Horizons. That was not a good drop, and Coxie was there to put it bottom right. 12 seconds to go to stop Merlins from doing a reverse sweep. They've got the players. They can do it. Arcane, Horizons and Coxie have proved they can do it. Can Merlins hold on to this? 12 seconds to go. That's low pad with a kick off. Coxey gets the cheat through. Arkane's got a shot. Horizons is there. It's crossbar and down. Zero is up. He's got to clear it for his team. He drops it down. Aggro biker there. Arcane to force the 50. Unfortunately missed it. Coxey, it pops up. Horizons is there. Arcane pops it up. Arcane is full boost. Coxey takes the small touch. Horizons underneath him. He gets it over one. Paddy's there. Aggro biker drops it down. And that's Merlin's on the reverse sweep. The same as Falcons have just done with Storm Shadows. British Army Merlins have just reverse sweeped Orcas. What a series.
Wow. Incredible from both sets of players. And I respect the comeback at the end from the Navy Orcas. They really gave it everything, and it looked off for that kickoff that it was destined for the back of the net. But the Merlins held on. The Merlins progressed through this round robin further now with one more win to their name. How do we even begin to break that one down? It started off with the Navy racing into the two game lead in the series. Merlins, they don't know when they're beaten. They don't know when they're beaten. The pedigree of the British Army Rocket League seems to be, if we go down 2, we're coming back with 3.
I'm sweating. I feel like I was part of that game. What an unreal performance from Merlins. And like I said at the start, Merlins are upsetting teams. They're upsetting players, and they've just done it again. Merlins do not give up. Have a 2-game lead. Have a 2-game lead. That's what they'll be saying. Alex will be saying, give them the 2-game lead. Let's reset. Let's come back and look at the performance that's just been witnessed.
It speaks for itself. And that is the Interservice way. That is what we're achieving here in this unique tournament. The Interservice Championships continue after a very short break whilst we set up our next one. It is round 6 to come.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health. It's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health. It's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health. It's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that Esports is there to help mental health, it's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health, it's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health, it's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health, it's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is winning. I see us sitting on the top of some leaderboards.
The guys that come down here, I see all the positives that esports gives them.
And hopefully, me doing this, I can push it out that esports is there to help mental health, it's there to progress you, boost your morale, boost your confidence.
UK Veterans Gaming has had a really good impact. We've helped so many people.
I didn't expect the military to be so welcoming and so forthcoming of esports.
So esports is becoming more pertinent now as we move towards a digital future. We only have to look at current conflicts to see that it is all about drones and AI.
The future of esports in the RAF is
BFBS Forces News join KFOR patrols in the north of Kosovo.
We're here to create a safe and secure environment for the people in Kosovo and the people of Kosovo.
Our job, fly and fight from the home base, and we've got to be able to do that in whatever conditions.
This training is mutually beneficial to both sides. For the riflemen themselves, it's about getting that valuable training in the desert.
At the heart of Lympstone Parade Square, the King's Squad, and there could be no more special guest of honour than His Majesty the King.
And whilst I'm not moving the controls at all, I can certainly learn from what I'm seeing as to how a manoeuvre should be flown.
This year, 337 recruits have completed training. That's a first-time pass rate of 99.7%, which is incredibly high.
So we have a philosophy on the ship called the Way of the Warrior Sailor. It argues that in order to create morale, you must love and value everybody.
This beam here came from HMS Indefatigable. The beams from the Armada were eventually integrated into the pub.
At BFBS Creative, we are creative storytellers. We are specialists in unravelling the untold, even from the most difficult locations. We help you reach the audiences you need to reach. From documentary interviews to addressing communication hurdles and crafting your content strategy, we can do it all. We thrive in the toughest environments, ensuring your stories are told brilliantly.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the RAF Storm Shadows channel. I am once again joined by the immeasurably enthusiastic Roman in the commentary box this evening, Roman. And as you can see on your screens there, it is the RAF Storm Shadows taking on the Army Esports side. A fascinating insight into what we might come to expect in the Interservices. But for tonight, it's the Armed Forces Dungeon League. Let's get this show started.
Carries this forward, gets 50 with Fraz. Ed, get into that one. NB tucks it away. And as I say, they need an opening goal. They have managed to get one here, 1-0.
Frazic, though, does some nice defensive work. But P finds Cedric. Cedric finds Envy. Beautiful stuff from the RAF Storm Shadows. 2-0.
Approximately a minute and a half left to go. Envy goes for a pass to P. P with a shot. P with a goal. Tucked away in the top left corner. 2-1 to the RAF Storm Shadows. And they are shining through here after the Army. They've struggled to rotate. They struggled to get into position after kickoff. And P managing to give the RAF Storm Shadows that advantage
Didn't
again.
have a lot to work with. Didn't have a lot of the goal to aim at. But he put it in the one place that it was going to go to. And Cedric makes it 3. And the floodgates are beginning to open here for the RAF Storm Shadows. A great 30-second burst. And now they've just got to hold it or even go for more.
Air power wins the matches in Rocket League, and you can't tell me otherwise as Ed will tuck that one away, and the Storm Shadows have the advantage here with 3 minutes left to go. Nothing about air superiority there. P just managing to get a pass across. A very strong 50 indeed, and Ed had an entire net to tuck it away. 1-0 to the Storm Shadows, and the Army, they've been crumbling since game 3. To control this one and take it downfield, intercepted immediately by Ed, and this pressure from the Storm Shadows has been relentless, and Envy, the man from Cosford, will tuck this away to make it 2-0, and almost an improbable comeback for the Army to try and pull off with 90 seconds left to go. The way they've been playing, the RAF Storm Shadows, they're currently unstoppable.
The RAF Storm Shadows, an incredible goal. They've done it again, and it's 2-0 now, and it's 3-0 now. The lead looking unassailable.
Gives Ed some time here on the sidewall, gets it up. P is on the backboard lurking. Is Ed going to get this one away? No, but Envy's going to be there. Envy's going to tuck it away. It's 4-1 to the RAF Storm Shadows. Rose-tinted glasses are on, and I don't care. It is game over. The RAF have trampled the Army 4-1, could be 5-1. I don't care what the scoreline is. It's going to be game over with 1:06 left to go.
You're going to have me in the commentary box. I'm going to be hyping the boys the entire time, not just the Storm Shadows, the Sentinels and the Shadows as well. As this game comes to a close with almost P tucking away a very nice shot there, just drops at the death. Storm Shadows 3, the Army Sparrows 1, and well, the Storm Shadows did it in fashion late on.
Hi, I'm AS1T Stelios Elia. In-game I'm known as SE1997.
Corporal Elliot Greenwood, and in-game I'm known as G-Wood.
My name is AS1 Tech Edward Nussey-Waite, otherwise known as Cedric in-game.
It's already looking like they've upped the bar from last year, which is a really tough job to even do that. We are looking forward, not just myself, but as a team, to going out on that stage and representing the Royal Air Force as best as we can.
Playing up on a stage like this is the first time. We had a thing called Rank A, where it was all the top players played against each other, and then we picked our teams. I've finally made it into the first team after a lot of hard work.
Both my teammates are really talented. We gel super well. Really looking forward to playing with them on stage and seeing what we can do.
From my end, the leadership were outstanding, no issues at all.
Not just from my own personal line management, but also the Royal Air Force Esports Association backed us very well, I should say, and made sure we had all the support we needed to get here, and they're always a phone call away if we do need them for anything.
Really excited to play Coast Guard. It'll be closer than everyone thinks after playing them. We think we stand a bit of a fighting chance.
The second Air Force team, emphasis on second now. They're a solid team, three really good players who could do some damage for sure.
Although we are in different forces across NATO, we are colleagues, so it's nice to meet them in person and just have a laugh and play against them and hopefully beat them as well.
You ready? AFG, you're washed.
Coast Guard, you ain't as good as you think you are. We're coming for you.
Space Force, stick to mini golf.
We're going to win it.
No, we're not.
We're going to win it. We're going all the way.
I thought it was good until I saw them play. The Americans will never hear the
Good afternoon, and we're approaching the evening time, so I'm not quite ready to say good evening just yet, but we're getting there. We are back again for series number 6 out of 7 at this year's Interservice Rocket League Championships. And now you might be wondering, this is a slightly different layout now to what you're used to seeing, because I am joined by the, and I mean when I say this, the most legend caster that I have ever met in my life. Sir Pickers has joined us in the commentary box. He was with us last year for Interservices. He joins us again. I'm so happy to say that. Pig, welcome back. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, I'm even more happy to be here. It's always a pleasure to be on the BFBS Esports channel, and of course, to just watch some Interservices Rocket League. We got some teams here that I haven't had prior experience with in the past as well, so always love touching new ground. I love catching base with you as well, and it's going to be a wonderful way to not round off the night, but it's going to be the penultimate series of the day.
It is, and it's an all Royal Navy derby. Both sets of players are pretty much ready to go. They're both on the stage. They're both pretty much set. And the Orcas, well, they've had quite the day. I think we can take a quick look at the rounds as they have been so far in the day. Thanks to our lovely producer. Look at him. He's just priming us up. And as you can see, Pig, the result of the day has to be said. The BAE Falcons, Army First, reverse sweep in the RAF Storm Shadows to take first seed position as it stands with 2 rounds still to play. Down below, it's the 2 Army teams, Kestrels and Merlins. Well, in the bottom half of the table, Pig, it speaks for itself. The Shadows, Tempest, Orcas, and the Hammerheads fighting desperately for any position in that table. I mean, you know some of these teams over the years, Pig. What do you see from your eyes?
I mean, Falcons and Storm Shadows, seeing them in the top 2 is never going to be a surprise to me. The fact that there was a reverse sweep there, that tells me that's a series that went the full distance, and of course, Storm Shadows, for the longest time, this has been the top team in Interservices Rocket League, but Falcons being able to edge them out in that series is not really of a surprise to me. They've got so much quality on their lines, and I'm very excited to see how this day is going to round off, to see if there's going to be one final twist in the tail, but I fear that that will be it for the top of the table. But here in the lowers, I mean, you've just watched the Orcas play, Stelios. That reverse sweep on the upper side of the table wasn't the only one.
No, I mean, they literally got reverse swept by the Army Esports third team, the Merlins, reverse sweeping the first team, the Navy Orcas. I mean, that was an incredible series, and watching it with Fezzy, by the way, was hilarious. Being the neutral party for once was quite nice, enjoying the stress around it, but Fezzy was beaming with pride at his team. But now the Orcas, as you can see, headsets on, locking in as we are about to set off for Royal Navy Hammerheads versus Royal Navy Orcas.
And I guess you could call this a little bit of a relegation battle. It's 7th versus 8th. Orcas with 1 series win of the day. That came all the way back in round 1. It was against the Shadows, though, so you'd back that this team has been able to pick up a little bit of form. Of course, they had that last game stolen away from them, but against the Hammerheads, they're going to make sure to take every single chance they can get. 1 out of 1.
I've just seen 2 Orcas players launching themselves at the ball, desperate to get this opening goal, getting this show underway, and they do have it. It is a 1-goal game already, 12 seconds to go, and 12 seconds in, sorry. And I think the key for Hammerheads in this game is keeping it close for as long as humanly possible. Now, yes, there is a rank differential between first team for Navy and second team. However, if you can keep the ball close to you, if you can keep the score as low as you can for as long as you can, you give yourself the best chance of stealing a goal, a little deflection, a random pinch, something to inspire the team of the Hammerheads. It's possible, but one thing they can't do, Pig, is leak goals early on, which, to be fair, is easier said than done playing against Horizons, Arcane and Coxie.
Absolutely, but we've had a few RAF derbies we've had the opportunity to cast together. Of course, this is going to be a Navy derby, a bit of a double commit there coming from the Hammersmiths, but they've been able to recover themselves. Nice save from Jonah into the corner, but a follow-up touch does not arrive. Arcane gets that second shot on, and your fears reign true, Stelios. It's 2 goals in quick succession.
Not much in the way of a response for the Hammerheads so far. QC, Newton, Bomb, and Jonah. Jonah especially, I've been chatting to Jonah recently privately in Discord DMs without leaking too much. regarding events in the future of military Rocket League, UK Armed Forces Rocket League on an international level with, you know what, which is publicly available, IDEG. Google it, everybody. International Defense Esports Games coming to you next year on an undisclosed date and location, and hopefully Rocket League will be part of that. But Jonah in particular is raring to go, and he's been motivated by all the events like the Interservices and IDEG and all the other various Rocket League events that he's seeing. Has been motivated to grind the game, and he's starting from, I believe, the diamond level right now. But give it 6-7 months, Pig. You know Rocket League like the back of your hand. It's a long time to improve, and this, I think, for Hammerheads should serve as a foundation for their improvement next year.
And it's such a privilege as well for a player of that level to have the opportunity to go to a LAN setting like this, play on stage, have that whole production behind him so he can watch it back afterwards. And once you get a little bit of that taste of that LAN setting, that's when the hunger begins. That's when you get that thirst. You want to come back. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing him in those upcoming months. I'm sure there's going to be improvements as well with all this experience that he's going to be able to pick up. For now, though, that experience is in the form of how do you fight back from behind when you're that underdog team. You're 3-0 down with half of the game still to go. It's a nice catch here from Arcane. Jonah will take that ball forward, has to try and find a teammate inside, maneuvering himself on the wall, though. Isn't exactly easy. Arcane gets a shot on target, not going to test the keeper all too much. And now Juicy coming in from the corner might be able to start an attack here for Hammerheads.
Disclaimer at the bottom of your screens, by the way. Thank you to my lovely producer, Jonah. Don't want to mix the two Jonahs up. It is the Jonah on the pitch.
Of course.
I've got a very smiley producer next to me right now. I love him. He's awesome. Anyway, back to the action then. It is 3-0. It is 3-0. Hammerhead, do you know what? They have managed to stem the flow of goals, and they get one back of their own. That is a fine finish from Juicy. Jonah, with the initial challenge on Coxie, Arcane forced into an error. And do you know what, Pig? Juicy rose. He leapt like a salmon, and the Hammerheads have one on the board.
And what did you say at the beginning of this series? Keep the scorelines close. The opportunities will be there. This is a team that are capable of finding the back of the net, and it's still not all doom or gloom in game one because they've still got 2 minutes left to try and pick up that momentum. They've started those building blocks. The foundations are now starting to settle. Newton Bomb lands at 50 forward, has a player inside, doesn't quite have the power, but these touches from Orcas went through a dangerous area. The corridor of uncertainty starts to find some certainty after those fakes. Now Coxie just alone with that ball, has to play for a 50. Boost counts rather even across the board, but now it's about how you make use of it. And right now it's Orcas in that offensive third. That's always going to be a scary sign.
I'll tell you what, Pig. They certainly improved on that opening minute where they conceded and pretty much just leaked 3 goals straight off the bat. And now they're hunting for a second. An insane shot by Juicy and an equally good save by Arcane. This new addition to the Navy first team Arcane has been a pleasant surprise, a breath of fresh air for Navy Rocket League. And alongside Coxie and Horizons, it's easy to see why he's sliding, but that's a horrible deflection. It finds its way into the back of the net, and suddenly, just like that, we have a very interesting final 48 seconds of game one.
This was such a strange round of ping pong. In fact, in that replay, we didn't see a single Hammerheads player touch the ball. I've never quite seen a replay like that for some time, but this is good fortune. This is what Hammerheads need. This is what instills the belief that there was gonna be a time to do it. It would have to be now. This is a team that is battered, bruised. They've just fallen victim to a reverse sweep. This is where you've got to be a little bit of a shark here and take down these killer whales. 30 seconds still left to go. The counter-attack needs to be formed. They're in their own third, but that high press is what put Orcas in a little bit of danger beforehand. Juicy,
oh my God,
off that backboard. That's going to come down the waterfall. The player has to be prepared. Jonah, a little bit of a fear factor, has forced Arcane out with that heavy touch. Coxie's awkward on the half term as well. And now that ground is starting to heat up. The floor is turning to lava. Orcas just have to keep this ball down low, but it's Juicy who has possession. Not going to be able to keep it up, but it's all smiles on that side of the arena. They know they have their chance, and heading into the rest of the series, I feel like that was a little bit of a injection of belief for the 3 players.
I'll be honest with you, Mr. Pegasus, I genuinely did not expect that. Genuinely, that is not what I expected to see when Orcas went 3-0 to the good. I mean, they came back, they were stubborn and didn't concede any more goals, which is the first thing you should always do. When you're conceding, completely reset your mind and don't concede anymore. That's the first step. Step 1, tick. Find the goal from somewhere. Step 2, tick. Find another, and another, and it nearly happened. They worked for it and they almost got it. And do you know what, Pegasus? They'll be going into game 2 with their heads held firmly high at the Hammerheads.
Especially when you consider the goal droughts that the Orcas had for quite some time. It was these early goals that ended up making all the difference in results. And well, old habits die hard. Arcane with that free opportunity off the kickoff. And this is where Hammerheads can't fall into that same trap like they did before. They've started rolling down the hill. This is where you've got to pick yourself back up and continue that climb.
Oh, it's immediately back inside their penalty area straight off the kickoff. And it almost mirrors game 1.
Yeah.
But the first goal came after 12 seconds, not the second. They're slightly worse off now, the Hammerheads. But they did stem the flow in the end in game 1. Can they do it again in game 2? I certainly hope so, because it'll be a right shame after such a good fight back for them to be sort of left in the dust so early. But for the Orcas, it's like you said, Pegasus, and you said it absolutely right. There needs to be an element of ruthlessness. It's exactly what I'll be coaching to players in RLCS. There need to be killers. They need to be stone-faced killers, and there's no other way to say it. They must be ruthless when they are in front, because if you don't do it against the likes of the RN Hammerheads, you're going to struggle against the likes of the Storm Shadows and the Falcons.
And sometimes there isn't anything more intimidating but a team that has nothing to lose. That's a wonderful save from Horizons. Arcane will just leave this ball off to Coxie, but this team is currently sitting in 8th place, 0 wins, only 2 rounds left to go. They are shut out of that top 6 and that opportunity to progress to those final stages. But this is where they can throw everything out there in this one series. This series especially, considering it's against that 7th place team. But they're proving they're no slouches. The Interservices are just so chock full of talent. Get a load of this.
And do you know what, Pegasus, on that, now that I have you here, you know, because I'm not closing out the show with you later on, well, after this series, it shan't be me. I think it'll be Psycho or Fezzy. I'd love to know, again, you know, I'd love to delve deep into your mind and ask you a little bit about what your opinions are. Is that one, what an angle from Coxie. He was not doing that last year. But I would love to know, you know, where your thoughts lie on Military Rocket League as a whole, and what you've experienced with us over the years, and just what your thoughts are in your mind. And you can be brutally honest. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was so impressed with how organized it all was, because it had that. It still does have that little bit of a taste of the grassroots that, of course, I absolutely love, but also it's got the organization of the military, and that's just what it brings, right, ladies and gentlemen? So everything is really well put together. It's such a cool opportunity for all of these players to get themselves that opportunity. And well, it said in some of the ads that I hope everyone was paying attention to, it's an important morale builder, and there is not a place where that is more needed than the Interservices.
Pegasus, my friend, you are a gift, and we are privileged to have you on this channel. Well, across all 4 channels that we're going out live to right now, and we're live across all RAF, Army and Navy, and BFBS Esports Twitches as well. Like it's a brilliant thing that we've done here, and to have you in it as the experienced and phenomenal caster that you are in the professional Rocket League scene, for us is a big privilege. So thank you so much for joining us and continuing to enjoy the action live here from the National Esports Performance Campus in Sunderland.
Oh, this all feels like a privilege to me, so we'll call it mutual.
All right then. Now that that's over with, and you've given me some of your opinion, I'll go straight back to play-by-play. Then it is Newton Bomb, his clearance only as far as Horizons, and the crossbar away by Juicy, flicked back by Horizons, who cuts back into the play, leaves it for Arcane, goes for a double into the near post, shot by Coxie, and it's into the back of the net. Despair on the face of Chono, who tried desperately to save it. And this one maybe a little bit escaping the clutches of the Hammerheads right now, but they're still having fun.
I love that pass from Arcane, though. Little bit of a double tap off that back wall. Sets it up so wonderfully for Horizon to take that strike. Definitely could have taken it with a little bit more power, but those bounce shots are certainly underrated. They can definitely play a defense out of book. They did on that occasion. They're rewarded with that 5th goal with still, by the way, 2 minutes left still. This is an unbelievable record that the Orcas are managing to pull off right now. But this feels like the beginning of a story. I mean, we've spoken on many occasions, because we have had the opportunity to cover it multiple times, about the REF derbies. And I mean, you can speak firsthand of how those have progressed through the years and how certain aspects of it have certainly gotten tighter with teams improving. 3rd and 4th teams all of a sudden not really seeming like the baby brothers anymore. Now they're starting to grow up and they're getting a little bit of muscles, and the same, I believe, is going to happen here when you give it a few months. Like you said, players like Jonah who are coming into the scene here with a little bit of promise, but still a fair way to go. That's going to be dangerous once he eats his greens and grows up.
Absolutely. I love that comparison, because exactly that has happened across the 3 services. The Army, notably this year, have had probably the biggest improvement of all 3, with the resurgence of the Falcons becoming the team that they are. Some would say favourites, as Juicy finds one back on the board for the Royal Navy Hammerheads. They are alive. They are still kicking. But yeah, like the Falcons have had, in my opinion, the biggest resurgence, and some would say are favourites to win this entire tournament. The Navy, the Orcas, are much improved from last year's Orcas that showed up. And of course, the RAF, notably, the RAF Shadows, who this year had a historic result, qualifying for Germany, the AFEI, by upsetting Keywood, Samez, Thubi, and Keanu of the RAF Tempest. Well, I mean, that was some result, and I will never forget the emotions that they felt that night, the celebrations. So you're right, it's no longer a baby scene. It's evolving fast, and every team from every service is improving.
Yeah, the players have something to fight for now, and the Killer Whales are certainly making sure they give it everything they've got. 1 goal away here. You spoke about a trip to Germany. We might just get a trip to South America if they can pick up 1 more in 30 seconds. Still, though, they haven't earned themselves a clean sheet yet. The Hammerheads have always made sure to get themselves on the scoring, and I like that. It takes a bit of fight, especially with that last goal where it was just a clear 50-50, and I saw 2 players attempt for it. They're hungry to see the back of the net.
Hammerheads tend to play. They've fought hard. They've kept fighting, and Horizon's forced into a ridiculous save. It was a wonderful snapshot, but it's 2 to play. Too little too late for the Hammerheads. They fought hard straight to the end, but it's the Orcas now with 3 or 4 match points. And it's theirs to lose, Pig. It's theirs to lose. But I like that you picked up on the fact the Hammerheads are refusing to quit. They're going straight to the end, and they're going to meet Orcas head on as much as they can.
And I love we'll call it housery that Jonah has just put in the chat here. The Rising Diamond has just said to the Orcas, no Brazil for you. He's taunting them. He's got a little bit of that fight about him. That's a character that I want to see grow into the scene, because when he can back it up even more, that's going to create some amazing storylines. And who knows, it might do in his 3rd game. We had Reverse Sweep Central in that last round. This would be a huge calling for the Hammerheads to pull that off, but we know they're capable of goals. Just please do not concede in the first 10 seconds. I see you. Don't allow that Coxie shot. The save ends up coming out. Jonah keeps it out. We've escaped that 10-second mark. That 2nd digit is finally a 4, and in my books, whatever happens, happens.
I like that. It's basically a win now for the Hammerheads. Get that ball screen, get that ball score updated. It's 2-2 in the city. I'm joking. It would be nice for them to survive a little bit longer. And it's just wide of the mark. Arcane with a shot that time. He comes across, put it towards his own net where Arcane was waiting. Good pass by Coxie. It's again looping towards the Hammerheads net. They're turtled up. They're just soaking up all the pressure. I'm pretty sure I've seen Newton Bond playing goalkeeper season 1 RLCS style. As Jonah again facing his own net. Coxie inside. Will there be an Orcas player? There is. But the shot, you know what? They're surviving.
certainly are, and this is what you ask for. Keep the scoreline close, keep that ball out of the back of the net. The saves have come through. Newton Bomb is available for another option. Good challenge, comes in early. This denies any potential build-up play there for the Orcas. Adema comes through as well. Juicy looks for that second bump as well. Make sure to get that ball off the back wall in the first place. And now Orcas have a bit of an awkward clearance. It would have doubled up as an inside pass as well should that mistake come out. And now the Orcas are getting desperate. Two-man forward. Arcane is left alone on an island, having to use every single bit of his boost just to maintain possession. Now it's the Hammerheads that have Orcas on the ropes.
I tell you what, I can smell some danger here for the Orcas. Doing a nice corner challenge, and Newton Bomb keeps the pressure alive. Horizon's fast to go up for it. Juicy meets it as well. And you know what? Juicy is playing like his French counterpart at the moment. He's playing so well. Doing forcing a shot to be tipped away, and they're wrestling for each other's boost. The Orcas at the moment are fighting for survival. I didn't think I would say that. It's Hammerheads with the pressure, but they break it eventually. Horizon's 1 versus 1. They go for the demo. The demo lands. The Orcas take the lead, arguably against the run of play.
There's a lone Hammerhead on the lines, but the Orcas are the ones to hit the nail on the head. The goal is opened up. The first goal goes the Orcas, and that's what it took. The 3 defenders were too strong. The saves were coming in bunches. You just got to get rid of them at that point. They've survived almost up to that halfway point. It's still a close scoreline. It's still what we would call a very flexible game if Hammerheads can just pick up one counter. But Orcas, typically when it rains, it pours, and Horizon just over the equator lands himself this double tap, and it feels like we're back to regular viewing.
Tell you what as well, the Royal Navy putting on a real show across both of their two sides, really representing them with such pride, because I love it. This time last year, the Navy was so strapped for personnel, on deployment, etc., that they couldn't build a full team at LAN. Now, fast forward a year, not only have they fielded 2 full teams under the lead of Dylan, who was the new Rocket League lead for the Navy, but also they've fielded 2 teams that are giving us such a good show every time they step on the pitch. It is amazing to see, and I honestly take my hat off to all of them. And now again, it's more a disgusting touch by Arcane there. What was that? That was incredible.
And I feel like we're almost treating this game like it was the little bit of a game in the rough. It wasn't like the rest, when actually I felt like game 2 was actually our little blip in the series, because game 1 was rather close for quite some time as well. The third game has gone on to follow that. It's when you don't allow that early armada from the Orcas that Hammerheads can really see themselves in the game. That's a wonderful save coming from Newton Bomb. Horizons has to land for that 50. Juicy does well for that read. Arcane to sit back a little bit deeper here. Jonah's not going to be able to get that touch, and that's going to give space here for Horizons. Essentially already beaten one man. Arcane, though, as third, gets that really heavy first touch, leads unchallenged for the second, buys time for that 100 boost. That's an awkward angle to go for the pass, but he's made it work. Newton Bomb gets the miss. The second man doesn't reach it either. The recoveries are fast. And with 1 minute remaining, there's still 2 to claw back from, but that's the caster's curse, because Horizons has collected his hat trick.
No coming back from this now, I fear, for the Hammerheads, who really put up a good fight, really gave it their all to try and get something on the board here. Some will say they may be a little bit hard done by. Some will say they could have had a game. Some will say they could have had another goal here or there. That's the way the Greeks something horrible. What a shot, and what a save by Arcane! How on earth has that stayed out? Juicy must have thought he'd scored, and it was tipped onto the crossbar and away by Arcane in dramatic fashion.
Back up, Arcane on target. That's a wonderful strike, no, it's just wide. Angles can be deceiving. Newton looked like he was there, but the bomb's been disarmed. Coxie picks up one more, and a 4th goal to Orcas. This makes you think that this might just be the end in terms of series score, but Hammerheads, they haven't yet gone out empty-handed. 29 seconds to keep that pattern ongoing.
Come on, let's get behind the Hammers. Let's get them a goal, and there it is! It's Jonah! running up out of his chair, elated in celebration. The Hammerheads have something to take away with them. The Rider's hiding himself from the camera. He doesn't want to be seen. And you have to love it. You have to love it. How can you not? Navy putting on a full-on show here.
I was literally saying, this team never goes out without a goal minimum. You at least get a scratch after you choose to scrap against the Hammerheads. And the Orcas have fought well. They fought victoriously, but there will be a few battle scars left behind from this 7th round. They pick up their 2nd win of the day. Hammerheads still yet to find that result, but we'll have to see what round 8 can bring. But for now, for the topic of round 7, overall, I'm actually really impressed from the Hammerheads, especially when you're looking at that 3rd game, especially the first half of that 3rd game, where actually the save stat didn't go up that high, but that's because they were denying the opportunities before they could even happen. They were playing those early 50s, they were playing aggressive, and Stel's got a bit hungry, but that's okay. I can understand. That was definitely, you know, one of those matches that it sends off all the calories, and you've got to refuel afterwards. Surely, is he still here?
Absolutely. Sorry, I was just dying of laughter. That's so. That is. I mean, you can quite see me just popping my head out. Hello. Yeah, that is me. That is me. I was caught in 4K eating cookies. I mean, I've got him here as well. I mean, yeah, that was an incredible battle. They're putting on a great show, and I think we agree on Pegasus on the fact that it's the start of a journey for them, isn't it? It's the start of hopefully this motivates them to grind the game, because there's 100% potential. They're juicy as well, much like his French counterpart. Insane potential. I want to see more of him, and I think Pegasus for this particular series is a nice place to wrap things up. But before I go, because that's me done for the day. We're grateful enough to we are lucky enough to have you close out the show with either Psycho or Fezzi. We'll get back to you on that one. But before I go, please, Pegasus, I want you to for people who don't know who you are, please tell them who you are, where they can find you, and I know you're doing some production stuff as well now with Hazard and RTR. You know, please do your thing.
Yes, I am Sir Pegasus. I am a Rocket League caster. You can find my Twitter at Sir Pegasus, same as it's spelt before. I'm also part of a production team called RDR Prod. So if you need an RLCS team stream, please hire us. But for now, the focus is all the Interservices, and it's as always a pleasure to be here. And I shall return after this break. So thanks, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final series of the day of the Interservices Championship 2025. Of course, we're in the group stage, day number 1 of the 3v3 competition, and today has been absolutely exhilarating. We've seen upsets left, right, and centre, and now we've seen special guests in the commentary booth. The legendary Sir Pegasus beside me once again. I'm very glad to say, how are you doing today, Pig?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, especially because I'm on this broadcast now. I had a wonderful series to commentate last time, and now I get the privilege to round off the night alongside you for what is looking to be a very exciting series. I mean, you've spoken about today being full of action. Merlin's reverse sweep back in round 5 certainly gave us that on the mainstream, but now, Psycho, I fear they've set a little bit of an expectation. Every time they're out there, they're on stage, they're on land, they've got all the lights on them. They've made sure to give us a show, and I expect nothing less despite their strength of competition.
Absolutely so. And speaking of the competition, the RAF Shadows need no introduction. And we're especially familiar with them, it must be said, Pegasus, from the likes of the BFBS Pro League finals not very long ago. But just looking across over to our standings at the moment, we've got RAF Shadows in the 3rd place spot with a positive gain difference. And I know for the lads, that's going to be an incredible achievement in what has been a very tight mid-pack.
Yeah, and it was a slow start as well. They actually got an initial series loss to Orcas in round 1. So they have built up these performances brick by brick as that day has gone on. And it feels like a team that is aging like a fine wine. And, well, you brought up the BFBS Pro League LAN. So I'm going to do the same here. That team did grow like a fine wine throughout that season, even though they did end out top 8 to the quarterfinals when it got to that LAN setting. They had to play the likes of the RAF Storm Shadows, and players like Deromus were playing the best Rocket League, frankly, I have ever seen him play. So with that being my last expectation of him, that has really changed my outlook of him in future series, this one, of course, included.
Absolutely, and there is going to be a bit of tenseness on the pitch, I think, as this is a big matchup, because it basically solidifies, if Shadows were to win, a very likely 3rd seed going in tomorrow in what is an all-important sort of seeding position to be in towards tomorrow's double elimination stage. And the BAE's Merlins definitely looking for more of that glory that they found. I know they're going to be chuffed with their performance so far, but I believe the players are ready and raring to go. The RAF Shadows taking on the 3rd team from the British Army Esports. What can they deliver here, Pig?
It's been a wonderful night of action. Let's finish it off right. Shadows versus Merlins. Like you said, solidifying that top 3. The other looking to solidify that top 6 as well. Maybe gain themselves an extra few seeding spots in the meantime. Your other match to watch is going to be Kestrels versus Tempests. If you're looking at that team equal to Shadows right now, just -1 on the goal differential if we're having that comparison. So not only is this series truly counting here, Psycho, it's to the individual games as well.
Absolutely so, and Lord Padius is going to drop this ball to the right-hand side. And Aggro Biker's going to be swiftly in hot pursuit. That player that's been on everyone's minds for the BAE's Merlins. But it's going to be the young guns in 0 to plough home that first.
Hands are still hot. See them on the mainstream. This is what they bring. And look at how much it means to Biker. Pure passion in the celebration. Only 40 seconds gone. Dare I say, they come into this series as the underdog. They're making sure early into this series to shut our mouths, sit back, enjoy the show. Another shot strikes Greyman, though, does well to get that clearance.
And another big hoof downfield, but Deromus is just going to shy away from getting involved to make sure that possession can be maintained long term as he tips it over to the right-hand side of the pitch, and a light little tap there from Padius.
Deromus on that back foot. Kurtz has an awkward angle to clear that ball out to, but it's in those safe corners. 100 boost as well. That's a gain for himself. Aggro Biker's been forced to use all this boost. That ball pops up high, but that second man press is going to be a lot stronger there for the side of Merlins. This is a team that is playing with hunger, and I feel like that has definitely been the word of the day. But a Greyman has come sweeping in for that equaliser. They tried to play this ball back. They didn't have full respect on that pass from Doromus. He's just finding his way in between the lines. It's a perfectly timed run from the grey man. And this is why you never count the shadows out.
And it's a genius finish as well, because he could have just opted to, slot it into one of the corners, but instead he just decided to go for a massive bouncer of a touch. And I do believe on the end of the BAE's Merlins that there has been a technical difficulty, and I think it's probably from Zero. And yes, he has lost connection in the chat, so maybe a restart necessary here for those guys. I did see him briefly stop moving as RAF Shadows were about to put in that first goal for themselves. So a little bit of a hiccup here in game one.
Well, it's good you had that second sense. I mean, you don't know anymore. It can be a kickoff strategy nowadays. I remember GK trying that at the end of last season. How do we even know when these players are AFK? But no, it definitely is in this occasion. And already, with that first little smidgen of action we got from a best-of-5 series, this is looking to be everything we hoped it to be and more. 2 quick early goals, hopefully setting up for this to be a high-scoring affair. We've already seen that the Merlins like to play with that tenacity when they get themselves high in that third, but for Shadows, when they want to string together those quick passes, when they have a player making that run, I guess you could say from the Shadows, that's where the differences can be made. This is going to be a very interesting series for the dynamics of these rosters.
Absolutely so. And I do think that unfortunate disconnect was right in the middle of that RAF Shadows team play. And I'm not sure too much can be done to take back that in particular goal. But I think from the very least, they're owed a restart from that time on the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do see that the players are going to be setting themselves up for a new lobby. And I've been curious as well to see what else is going to be happening on the rest of the pitch here. We were talking about Orcas perhaps trying to pick up their first series victory in round 6. They had their best opportunity, of course, facing the Hammerheads, and they were able to take that. Now having to face the Storm Shadows, that's certainly not going to be an easy run for them, but I wonder what's happened to their opponents. Will they be able to get some scores on the doors? They have to play Falcons. Brutal for the 7th and 8th seed there. That's what we call strength of schedule.
Absolutely. And moving forward to tomorrow, Pig, I think there's going to be a couple favourites lurking around. Namely, there's going to be the Falcons and the Storm Shadows. But there are some upset contenders as well. There are the likes of the Shadows, who have known to be given a challenge or two themselves. And Kestrels, I don't think we've actually seen their ceiling so far, as they have been a team historically to go and challenge the Falcons themselves as well, coming in as the British Army's second seed. I want to see some more from them, and they are a team that very much relies heavily on the momentum game. But here is a quick glimpse of the cameras on display, and I do believe I'm just going to dart for a quick second, Pig, to help set some stuff up. So, yeah, take it away.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. You got... I believe one of your esports leads over here at BFPS, constantly at work, also cast, also coach. I mean, what can't this man do? Dorobus gave a very confused look to the camera when we first switched to this scene. It's like he forgot that it was there in the first place, but now stretching those fingers. He's a player that likes to get vocal at these LAN settings, and I am waiting to see him score a goal here on stream, because I want to check out those cameras. I want to see if he's going to have some words afterwards, because he definitely has done previously. But we're talking about teams that have upset potential as well. When we're heading into that top 6, into that bracket stage, I believe it is double elimination. I have always backed the Tempest in that regard. They're a team that always go into a series and you look at them and you're like, okay, on paper, this should be easy. They're going to get swept. They're going to be sent out. Let's keep this simple. Let's move on with our day. But what is so special about Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's played on a pitch. It's not played on paper, and Tempest are the perfect team to prove that. They will have these performances in league play. They'll set these expectations for themselves, and then they'll just decide to knock it out the park for one series, completely ruin the bracket for everyone else, and cause that little bit of chaos, which is why I always have that little bit of love for them. There is always a storm ready to brew when you're surrounding the Tempest. They unfortunately come off the back of a sweeping loss to Falcons, now having to play for Kestrels in this final round, which I believe is actually going to be a pretty interesting series. That's one that I could see definitely going the distance if both teams play at a decent potential. But as Psycho alluded to before, not the best we've seen from Kestrels, but I'd argue not the best we've seen from Tempest as well. The biggest ceiling to floor ratio I think you'll see out of any roster. Oh, I've just had a look at the cameras there. I've been locked into the lobbies for quite some time. There was a little bit of posing for the camera. And I'm noticing not much speaking in amongst the players. They're all rather locked in here. You sometimes, see the odd chance for a little bit of rapport, trying to keep the vibes high. In fact, so we got a player wearing a headset in a way that I have never before conceived. But Psycho, how's
Hello.
it looking on your end of things?
Well, it's looking fantastic, but unfortunately, we're going to need to cut to a quick break, Pegasus, because we really do need to dig into that previous goal, because I do think a disconnect landed just as a goal went ahead, and I don't really want to be granting any advantages to a team that might not be deserving, Pegasus. We have to look at this properly, of course, so we are going to cut to a quick break. So we'll see you in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final game of the Interservices Championship 2025. We, of course, have the British Army Esports Merlins facing off against the RF Shadows. And we just had a bit of drama on the pitch. One of the players DC'd in an unfortunate situation, but the goal would have still stood. 3:33 left on the clock. But, Pegasus, both teams very sporting-like, as you would expect from one of these Interservices competition. Wanted a full restart from 0-0 on the clock. And as they were equaling goals, we're very glad to oblige and get some more action, Pig.
Absolutely. We'll call that an on-stream test lobby for that first minute and a half we got to witness there. Unfortunately, that test wasn't exactly passed, but with a new lobby, a little bit of fresh legs here, these teams are ready to go. And I want to actually start off with a little bit of an apology for Deromus. I spoke about him being vocal, how he was doing his best Kofa impression back at the LAN. Today, he says he's going to be a little bit more reserved and he's going to be in his Appjack era for this group stage. So, very humble from him, but we'll have to see if he can play like Appjack as well. That miss, however, not filling me with much confidence.
Well, there's been a couple of RLCS finals games where I've seen Appjack miss balls like that, but I'm not going to mention that. He's a fantastic player in his own right, and I really shouldn't be slandering him. Aggro Biker with a nice looping high first touch, and Greyman's going to drop it down off of the ceiling. Brilliant touch from Lord Padius, though, to keep it in the blue half.
0-0. Awkward on that ball, so Aggro Biker will go in the underlap instead. Steals that ball forward. The real settles for the 50. The demo as well. Extra for his troubles. Look to try and slow down that counter-attack. That bump as well will help, but Greyman make sure to stick himself high in position. That forced out, that heavy touch forward, which the Shadows should be able to collect on the turnover. It's been a little bit of a hoof ball from either one of these teams. Neither one been doing that job of maintaining possession, neither having that player far forward to collect that ball in the first place. Kurt's got 0 boost, but Padius will manage to pick that ball up. It goes out to safety into the corner. He's a bit punched up from the side of the Shadows, but they've been given that time to separate.
And Lord Padius, calm as ever at the back, is able to push that ball to a teammate vaguely on the left-hand side, although Greyman is up there very quickly and urgently to disrupt. As now Kurt blocked away in field. Daryl 0 for a 50 up high, and Greyman so quick up to that touch. Maybe has a follow through dunk. He's forced it wide, but not quite on target.
And well, we don't get those 2 goals that we had in our quote-unquote test lobby beforehand. They've passed a point where both of these teams are still somewhat feeling each other out, finding their footing as well. It's been a long day of action. You can say this is where the fatigue starts to settle in. It is the last one of the day, but there certainly are still consequences. You will regret not putting yourself in those favourable seedings later down the line when it comes to that top 6 tomorrow. Deromus has to backflip. Greyman will be the one to wrap around this play, still quite getting the control touch he's looking for, and that's back to square one.
Lord Padius with a nice fake to force the ball back to his teammates behind, and Aggro Biker is dunked away by a Greyman who's been incredibly quick on the pitch so far in game number 1, albeit very few chances either direction. It is a game of that sort of ping-pong style of hit the ball as hard as you can and hope.
And Kurt almost had the opportunity there to open up the scoring, but it was an awkward read off that back wall. That sort of that ball rifling back into the mixer, recycled out for the Greyman once more to just try and keep this ball to the 6-yarder, but 0 beats his first man, gets that 100 boost as well, immediately looks to bail away from that demo. Knows Aggro Biker is right behind him, can feel that that player is going to be on that opposite side. 0's rotated well, cuts rotation to keep this offense going. This is a high press forming from the Merlins. This is the longest passage of play we've had for quite some time, and ever still, Shadows been able to neutralise it.
0's got a nice bit of control here over to the backboard as well, and something that's not going to be neutralised easy is that shot, but it's blocked away by Aggro Biker as the ball pinches into the corner, and the pace of the play absolutely heightening as we get down to these final stages of the game.
Oh, doesn't get that touch, Kurt. Wraps it back round, that's going to fall straight to the Romans. It's a completely open net, but the post denies. And they have to wheel back in their rotation. 30 seconds left to stand. That could have been the one to decide the game. And now fighting, this feels like it's Shadow's game to lose. Kurt over in the corner, still looking for that goal they felt they had already earned. The Romas back on, the demo in field. Should see a pass back. It's a second opportunity for the Romas, bit heavy-handed though. Heading into that corner, Greyman finds the target, but Zero matches it with a fantastic save.
And now it could be another open chance. Zero in a 1v2, but no bump. Crucially found on that last defender, and Doromus offers one last spark, but the ball does hit the ground.
How did we get here? It should be over. We should be in that post-game analysis. Instead, Shadows form themselves in offense after the overtime kickoff. Aggro Biker, though, has some boost. The tank has a flip as well for his troubles. Greyman make sure to intercept before there's any time to recover. Challenges again off that ceiling. I've loved the aggression that Greyman has played in this first game. He's not one who's scared of cutting rotation. If he knows he's going to be quicker to that ball than a teammate, he does not want to give these opponents any space. And for now, that definitely has been a sign of success. But now an opportunity lands here for Merlins, and Shadows have to be on their best behaviour.
Aggro Biker's going to take this all for himself and has actually pinged the ball in field off of that 50-50. It's found its way over to the right-hand side, and they're just dancing against that front post, all to the dismay of Shadows, who are very much clumped up together. And Greyman, to give chase with no boost, is just trying to eke out every single 50 opportunity he can and really stretch out those Merlins defenders. It could be another chance for Greyman, but it's a hopeless shot towards the corner.
The ball continues. 1 minute 15 seconds in this OT. Greyman looks to get a second opportunity. That one's too high. Padis is available on that back post, but this looks open. Kerbo still has his shot saved by a leaping Aggro Biker. Doromus can't find the target. Instead, that one pinches out wide. It's a free power shot for the side of Merlins, but Shadows able to hold this ball close. It's well controlled. Kurt positioned himself beautifully for that second man. I love that aggression from Greyman, but it was still two defenders to beat. They only had one tackle. Now it's a 2-on-2 situation. Greyman has had to save the day once more, and he's been that player on numerous occasions. His one weakness has been the back of the net. And that's not how I expected this game to end.
Not like this! Oh, I know Fezzi's going to be supporting them in the background, but these Merlins, that's not how they wanted that game to end.
That is unbelievable. Aggro Biker just put oopsie in the chat. Psycho, your teammate fights you and the team fight tooth and nail for 5 minutes of Rocket League. 1.5 minute past, that's the way it goes in. How are you feeling past this point? Did this crop up much in your playing days?
Look, I didn't know you could rub salt in the wound any more than that, but honestly, yeah, it's happened to all of us, let's face it. It's not a nice feeling, and Aggro Biker, I think, has taken that very nicely. RAF Shadows, though, I think it's fair to say, were dominant in that game, even though they only had the 1 goal advantage, just in terms of sheer weight of opportunities. So many shots registered, so many attacking plays, and there was just a couple of instances where things slipped up for them.
Yeah, it did, but at the same time, Shadows, it felt like it should have been their game a little bit earlier in that series. I think back to regulation, Doromus had that opportunity from the halfway line. Sure, it was one of those heads-up, quick-thinking positions, but I do back him in those kind of spots to still have that initiative to take that shot on. But then in overtime as well, there was a Greyman who had to take that shot on the half turn, and it was essentially a completely open net. He couldn't see the end of that play. It was just a little bit of a disaster class at certain moments, but ultimately, I guess it doesn't matter how you win them, Psycho. You still get the same amount of points. They've got that crucial bit of game differential that they're going to need if they want to hold that third position spot. But, of course, that's going to require 2 extra as well to secure that case.
Absolutely. And just to add even more drama to the scenes, Pegasus, I do believe we're having some technical difficulties when it comes to the game lobby at the moment. So we are going to have to make a server restart as well.
Wow. Who would have expected a Rocket League server restart? I was very concerned. I got a message that said server down for maintenance, and my ranked lobbies are showing as unavailable. Psycho.
Yes.
We said at the end of that game, not like this. I'm gonna bring that phrase back. Not like this.
Pegasus, it's not like this.
Not like
the
this.
game server's
Not like
back up. It's not over
What?
yet. Don't you dare believe that this show's going to end prematurely. And it's not going to be a simple one-game affair. We do have some players finding themselves into the lobby, so I do believe there has just been a partial outage. I do know that there is a scheduled bit of maintenance at 5 p.m. on the .UK time for the sake of a season reset. I don't believe it's happened early. I think it's just a small hiccup, Pig.
Okay. Maybe a little bit of a test of stop the servers button in preparation for that next hour. Let's hope that the players can wrap this up. We don't want to see any 20-minute overtimes in this game. I do want to see the end of it. Otherwise, this is going to have to be adjourned for a little bit later. Some classic chess rules going to have to come into play here.
Absolutely so. And so we have 5 of the players in the lobby so far. And if they can hear me on stage, which I know they can, just repeatedly keep trying to rejoin the same game server and eventually you will. I believe this is just one of the many quirks and features of Rocket League on occasions, Pig. But just reflecting back on that first game once again, it wasn't just the 5-minute deadlock, but we also had a massive period beforehand without goals, bar the small incident involving a small technical problem, which they got around quite quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that if I could describe that first game, it's like my wonderful pet back at home that I shall return to on Saturday. It's a Shih Tzu breed. It's ugly, but it's beautiful, and I love it. And that's how I would describe that first game performance overall. Yeah, there were a few little mishaps in between, but there were those little moments where those passes were starting to string together. Greyman, I felt like, had a fantastic game, bar that one opportunity in overtime. And I feel like this is going to continue to heat up for definitely our most drama-filled series of the day, Psycho, both amongst our players and just for the wider scene of Rocket League as well. What a way to round off the night.
It really would be. And just to shed a light on some of the talents on the pitch at the moment, I was especially impressed in that first game with the Greyman's performance. And we did mention it quite a number of times in that game number 1, Pig. But it's just the sheer pace that he can inject into the play. And I think a lot of people, when they think of this legendary figure for the RF Shadows, who's been around for such a monumental amount of time, ever since almost the RAF Rocket League's conception, he has delivered strong performances. And a lot of people sleep on him. They don't think he's got that sort of mechanical nature, that quality to him. But part of mechanical nature and part of that quality is just being fast to every play and making sure that your touch is as precise as it can be to go in the direction you want to push it in. And the consistency there from that man is on top form.
I mean, he's just a beat ahead. He's essentially lapping the rotation. He's going for one challenge and he's thinking of rotating back. He's seeing that second and third man aren't quite available for the play. He is happy to call them off. He'll cut in again. There's no hesitation as well in the way he positions himself. And that is the best teammate you can have. You don't want someone who's indecisive. You don't want to have those insecurities, whether he's going to go, whether he's not going to, because that's how those double commits start to really creep themselves in. All those dreaded position psychos where no one goes for the ball and it's just left completely open. And with this talent on the side of Merlin's, we've seen previously today and a little bit in, I guess, that test lobby we had before, that this is not a team you want to leave with space.
And good news, everyone! Game 2 is about to kick off. There it is. The players back on the pitch and the drama's quelled for now. What's going to be the next twist in the tale? Hopefully not a desktop. Sorry, that was hilarious timing, Jonah, but Lord Padius is going to squeak in a first, and I just had a glimpse of his desktop whilst that shot was played.
That is a gorgeous shot. He comes in from such an awkward angle to find the target. Yeah, the job is still done. And now it's going to be the Shadows forced to respond. This is a bit more similar to the initial performance we saw from these two teams, where I said that this could end up being a high-scoring affair, and the first actual commissioned matchup, I guess you could say, was anything but just one goal to differentiate these two sides. We'll see how this bit of a shake-up in those initial seconds will change the way that Shadows play. Because I must say, Deromus and Kurt, I like it when I do see them push forward that little bit more. And I felt like they were a little bit reclused in that opening match.
I think that's absolutely fair to say. And at the moment, RF Shadows playing from a deficit and trying to bait forward the Merlins into an impromptu attack. Although that one's going to sail to the crossbar. A miss from Lord Padius, though. A player who so desperately wants more goals in the bag. He's hungry for them. And I'm not sure if you've had the chance to see some of his celebrations, Pegasus, but they are electric.
I would love to see it sometime soon, but we can't be sending shots out for throw-ins. It's early in the game. That could have secured it in what has been a low-scoring affair. These goals are essentially worth double. They might regret that a little bit later, but for now, the pressure looks to be maintained. It was a heavy touch forward. 100 boost going to be picked up confidently, but a grey man, of course, as ever, consistently lurking. Aggro Biker sends that one back to Deromus. Doesn't use his boost too early. Saves it for that extra touch can bring forward. And now he's got enough in the tank for this attack. As a redirect into that top corner. And that's the land ready Deromus, I know.
Gorgeous pass from the grey man, and Deromus positioned equal to it. Fires an important rifle towards that top right-hand corner. Great bit of placement, and it caught BAA's Merlins sleeping.
Deromus, again, looking for these aerial efforts. That flip reset, though, didn't quite make the connection he's looking for. Padius has to just resort for these low 50s. The second man run there, won by Kurt. Grey man had the opportunity to control the ball. Instead, resorts for the pinch, and with the Real Zero having boost on that backboard, that ends up just seeing this ball spilled back out. That's dangerous in the 6-yard box, but Merlins able to bring this ball to temporary safety, but still there's a little bit of awkwardness in their play, a lot of tapping of the brakes that you don't ever want to see. Momentum truly against them, and Shadows are using that to just charge at them. That one, though, a little bit too much power. The Real Zero was ready there at the top of the net. It's starting to feel like those scales are tipping.
Maybe so, but for the Merlins, you can tell the communication is really there, even amidst those awkward moments where you perhaps have one player reversing out the way of another. That means they're calling for it, and that means the respect is given. And all importantly, at the moment, they've held a strong defensive line. Shadows across to the left, over the crossbar once again, looming for another follow-up shot. But Lord Padius is prime position to deal with it.
Merlins are playing really selflessly. Like you said before, they clearly are communicating, and if you're willing to fight against that nature of those thousands of hours you may have in Rocket League to play into the calls that your teammates has made, that shows that there is a high cohesion in the roster. And that, of course, has been shown. This team was able to pull off a reverse sweep versus Orcus beforehand, and that requires a very headstrong team, a sense of togetherness. And right now, it is all hands together and kumbaya in the defense. Now they might have found that rare opportunity in offense. Grey man, though, looks to get this one shut down quick. That double commit from Deromus, though, does complicate the position.
Lovely air dribble from Kurt. 2 on the backboard, though, for Merlins, and I much prefer that to 0 as Grey man once again in field. 1 follow-up from Deromus, and no follow-up to really challenge Padius as he feeds that ball in field very nicely indeed.
Deromus, again, heavy-handed off that ceiling, and his flip doesn't quite land as he'd like. Kurt once more going for those low 50s. He knows that the Grey man is always going to position tight to him. He's always ready to try and scoop up these loose balls, and that has seemed very deliberate in the way that Kurt has played in this series so far. It's very controlled, it's very grounded, it's very second-man focused.
Deromus is really going to struggle to reach this ball, and so has bailed out and gone for the boost instead. And Grey man waiting perfectly to get involved there, and 0 does look slightly challenged here, but he's done very well to feed it off to the sidewall without a real hiccup as he continues that charge downfield. High touch again from Kurt, and Shadows always keen to exploit the high option at the moment. Central in front of net, as it so often has worked for them. Maybe one last chance now for 0, on target off the crossbar, but it's saved by the woodwork. OT we go.
That wasn't the only opportunity. There was one at the beginning, there's another at the end. I told you that they would regret that miss later. But now a fresher wound to worry about. And an offense from Shadows as well. Daromas finds a target from an awkward position. That's forced the goalkeeper out strangely. That's a booming ball over though, just to try and alleviate that bit of early stress that they've had in overtime. Aggro Biker sent it to the backboard. Kurtbo be able to confidently place this one down. It does come off that second man, and once more Daromas is caught in one of those double commits. The great man wanted to get in early, and now with Zero boost, and that boost not spawning in his favour, it's still Zero fighting for that 50 across, but hold on, 2 men forward. Kurt does take a lot of time there to bring that ball up. It falls down safely now for the grey man once more. Daromas looks to connect again, but now this should be a simple collection for a very low boost Kurt.
And Shadows have tested the high option time and time again, and now they're feeding the infield balls in front of the Merlin's net, and still even those chances are being thwarted quite comfortably, and Merlin's just have everything sorted at the back as they try to create downfield now. Ball goes in the corner for Aggro Biker, and Kurt with a very keen interception to keep that play going for them.
The grey man wanted to pop that ball up to Daromas. He looks ready for that kind of play, and it's all those fine margins, the slight difference between hitting the ball and not, that have decided this game so far. Another overtime which we feel like we should not be in, and as well with that scheduled maintenance looming towards us as well. Really hope that that's not going to be a streak that continues. Daromas puts that ball up. Zero though so well to went deep there at that midfield line, anticipated that heavy touch. Paddy has had to bail away. The third man has had to creep up very high to get that ball across, but with that risk, they made sure that the efficiency was there to match. But this is not a great position to find yourself. Handled extremely well though by Merlins.
Aggro Biker's awkward, and he's just lobbed the ball in front of his own net.
Oh my god.
But it's absolutely fine for the time being. Daromas! Powerful strike down, straight into the territory of that orange goalmouth. Bangs it off the carpet. That is a win back for the Shadows.
And he'd been looking for that the entire game. He'd played that ball high. He went for so many of these individual efforts, but every single time it was these first touch shots, whether it was set up by a teammate or opponent, that is what the winning formula was for Shadows. He had 9 shots total in that second game, which looks unbelievable when you put it alone. But then his teammates combined also had 16 shots total for the Shadows, and he was still only able to put across 2, which only just goes to show how strong that defense was from the Merlins. But if only their offense was as strong, Psycho. Those 2 shots, either one of my eyes are just playing both of those opportunities on replay.
And it's a very, very small amount of the time where if you're a team who's maybe putting on 30% of the shots, you're coming away with a win. But I truly believe Merlins could have been one of those sides last game. They had such superb positioning at the back that honestly, they didn't really feel threatened to me a lot of the time, even when they were just withstanding constant attacks of pressure. And I think you're absolutely right, Pegasus. The creativity downfield and trying to create something themselves in attack has been a challenge and will continue to be a challenge. Such is the sort of pace that the Shadows play at.
And now it's going to be that requirements once more, Psycho. They've been able to do it previously. That coveted reverse sweep. Shadows, of course, tougher competition on paper. They've certainly been tougher competition in practice as well. But the difference has been that simply the Merlins just play up to their opponents. They have looked extremely strong in this series. I feel like they'll feel a little bit frustrated not to have picked up one already, especially, of course, that second game. Hold on, though. Shots early by Daryl Zero, and it is that crossbar once again to feed the woes of Merlins.
And Aggro Biker to just hoof it downfield and hope the mistakes come through. There's one, and the ball sifted infield, somehow found a sneaky gap to get through. Zero back on the charge towards the left-hand side. Daromas with an ugly touch in front of his own goal mouth. Definitely a bit of misfortune, though.
Oh, shot though by Padius, and again, someone needs to bewitch that crossbar. There's a little bit of magnetism going towards it. It's a second opportunity gonna miss for Merlins, and now the first real chance opens up for the Shadows. This is a double commit, 0 boost all round, but that bump will open up that space. That's a scary counter attack for the Shadows defense, but Kurt stayed so cool, calm and collected, knew he was the player with all the resources, so he just sat himself back, waited reactionary for whatever the Merlins offense was going to do, and reacted accordingly.
Aggro Biker again leading the offensive charge, but his two supporters at the midline hasty to get involved. There is 0. Just a whack in the corner trying to pinch it across, and Curtis being pre-jumped by Padius, and it's a great bit of pressure to force the Grey Man into thinking he needed to contest. As Aggro Biker once again full of pressure, an infield pass could spell some sort of troubles, but nobody to rotate back around into it.
Biker, 2 touches, that will be enough to set up Padius, but it's not going to lead to anything too special here. Back onto their own defense. The real 0 with plenty of boost still left in the tag. An opportunity to run for a butt, but it's not required. It's a wonderful strike here from Aggro Biker. The willpower taking him through the whole distance. A little bit of a ground pinch as well. That's a hard strike to stop.
Great way to respond for Merlins, who have done very well at sustaining their defense, and that was the spark. Just one tiny gap in field and one big hoof for Mankind into the back of the open net as 0 pushes the ball across. It's an open opportunity for Grey Man at the end of the day. He's going to be kicking himself for it, but they're still on the attack.
Cut over, backboard, meets Aggro Biker, 0 boost, forces out just that boom ball forward, and Aromas can't get as much power behind that second touch, and the Grey Man makes a rare mistake. Merlins make it 2, and if there were a team that you would back to see out 2 minutes and 36 seconds of defense, it would be them, but is that even the strategy anymore?
I think I just saw BAEs actually give themselves a kiss. That was a beautiful moment and an important goal. And honestly, their celebrations just get better and better. And it's just, it's wonderful for those guys, and I'm so glad that they're having such a good time out there on the pitch, and they're going to be smiling twice as hard now that they've got 2 goals on the board, but there is still a lot of time to kill on this clock.
Certainly, and we know that Shadows do have those offensive capabilities, and they are at the peak of their powers, and despite them being on match point at the moment, I still feel like we get to see that. I rate this team that highly. They've been able to put even the Storm Shadows in that bit of trouble in the RAF Army. Daromas has been that player today that has made the difference. The sole goal scorer in the game beforehand will look to open it up here in this 3rd game. And they look to get this sweep done in quick succession. Still, though, more action required. A goal a minute to get it done in regulation.
There's a smart finish by Daromas, but let's not underestimate the value of the Grey Man in that early diving challenge that forced the ball high and gave him all of that space. There's another ball lofted by Daromas. That's more like it for the Shadows. That's playing with intention and confidence on the pitch.
We've spoken about the Grey Man. We've spoken about Daromas, but Kurt makes himself known. A wonderfully placed shot. Well earned for that equaliser. And that's 2 goals in rather quick succession. And Merlins, who looked like they were starting to pick up a little bit of steam, will feel somewhat derailed after those past 30 seconds. Shadows look back to that peak of their powers that I mentioned. They were still yet to reach those 0 unfazed shots on save by the Grey Man. This is a team with that 3rd game buff. They get that 3rd goal, and it is Aggro Biker once more.
Good save from the Grey Man to tip it high, but there is no response. And the Merlins strike hard on that one. It's going to be a kickoff that Merlins so desperately want to stay in their possession, and 0 is there to filter through. Aggro Biker with an awkward read, but it's forced Aromas to challenge. Thaddeus with a big save.
Hey man, chasing on Padius. That's a really awkward ball to try and control. Aggro Bike is not going to get that 100 boost either. That's going to allow Shadows to play this high press. It's just Aromas doesn't get that second touch, and for a second it seemed unnecessary, but it was a wonderful goal line clearance by Lord Padius, who's now abandoned on his lines. 0 boost to hold. Is able to bail away. Aggro Biker instead takes up that space and looks to move it forward to offense as well. The 4th goal would surely be game, set, and match. We'll see you over in game 4, and this team is just unstoppable in these game 3 formats on stream. Instead, though, Shadows have that time. They hear that 30-second call. The 4th man has gotten involved.
And I really desperately want to see Merlins take this game, because I want to know how this series spells out, if they can withstand this next 15 seconds of play, as Kurt in the corner. Quick to get a quick touch, and Deromus with a little chip up high to feed the ball in field. The infield pass worked last time around, but they've cleared up with a demo on the back lines. These Merlins are going to come away with a win, surely, as Padius drops it down. Undoubtedly the MVP of that particular game for me. What a performance.
And I love the way they closed down that game. They didn't get silly with it. They demoed anyone that stood in their way and let that ball hit the floor. A professional ending from the Merlins, and a performance that frankly makes you believe, because they got that early start. They put themselves 2 goals ahead, and then I started to get worried. I thought the toys were being thrown out the pram. I saw this game brought back to equal in seconds, and I said, this is it. This is the sweep. This is going to be the end of the night. But instead, Psycho, we have the privilege of another kickoff on our screens. Game 4 is underway.
They've got the momentum on their side, but there is so much more to winning a Rocket League series than that. It's all about your impact on the field, and Lord Padius last game, goodness did he give that in abundance, as he's there to make a very nice tip up high, and what would have been an awkward touch if he went any other way. Now at the back, Aggro Biker for a dunk. Unfortunate little play to his own teammate there, but still looking solid early on.
Kurtz. Boom into that corner. Aggro Biker's not going to have that initial read, so it's going to be another ball off that back wall. Grey Man, though, was facing towards that corner. I'd like to see him a little bit more front facing. That opportunity, like Aggro Biker in that position, but still doesn't quite read the ball as was required to get that shot off. So instead, we do remain goalless. Almost changed, but Aromas, with that save off his goal line, does keep Shadows alive for the time being. Already feels like a continuation of that game we just witnessed. It's end-to-end action. It's already strikes coming in from both teams, and you gotta hope that those defenses are locked up.
Magical dunk to keep the ball in the orange half. Deromus, quick as ever for a 50-50, but it was really just a dive and hope. Padius has been bumped out, and Deromus with a quick little whiff. All 3 players cluttered at the back for the RAF Shadows, but they're definitely giving themselves a platform for a counter-attack. Greyman dashes downfield, steals that 100 boost, but isn't going to contest that time around.
Padius just has to try and keep some kind of control, or at least the ball in that corner. There'll always be a teammate there ready to pick it up. It's one of those fundamental rules they teach you. You do get a moment to escape here, but Aromas' high touch actually ends up falling onto an orange car, and that's an undefended backboard, and the real Zero makes sure to make the most of this opportunity. And what a gorgeous poach this was. Kurt is caught completely out of position, and Zero is that shark that I was asking for in those previous series. He brings it in game 4.
I didn't know Merlins biologically had the capability to roar, but I just heard them from upstairs again. That goal meant a lot to them, Pig. And they've got that platform to build from and more. They have an advantage in game 2, as Greyman can only afford to go backwards. Zero, tempting fate with a dunk, didn't quite come through, but Deromus always has been that player to get the ball out of defence and just seek that offensive chance.
Well, Zero can't come through on this occasion. Padius has to hold down that 50. The ball stays high for the time being, and Deromus just has a few extra desperation touches, actually proving a lot more valuable with some of those bailaways from the Merlins. still remains in temporary safety. 0 boost time needs to be taken here to just pick up some of those pads. Aggro Biker has been allowed to take this ball. The Real Zero, and for a very ambitious redirect there, Paddy just keeps it simple, sends it off that back ball, wants to set himself up for that second touch. It's cleared instead. Zero instead wants to find a teammate on that occasion. Instead, it's that sea of blue. It's Greyman trying to take space forward, but I'm loving the way that Merlins are pouncing at every single ball just before it can cross that halfway line. Shadows are going to start getting a little bit nervy here if this continues.
And early challenges left, right and centre from the Shadows defence is surely going to cause a couple of holes to be poked at, and Deromus is going to have to settle the 50-50 and does so very well into space for Kurt to follow from. Great dunk from Real Zero. He might have a look at net. It's a difficult one for him to reach to, and Greyman expertly done.
Oh, double tap attempted by Aggro Biker, came in at an off angle. But instead, just acted as that time waster. The Real Zero is the only one with boost of attack, and that was a very confident attack there from Shadows, and that could be their falling. The hubris coming against them as Merlins once more are able to build back their attack, and it feels like the colours have switched, because this is typically what we see from the Shadows, just that very constrictive offense, and Merlin's typically forced to make all those miraculous saves on their lines. But this is what happens when you pass that game 3 mark, and Merlins are looking for that reverse sweep. They say that you should study history so that it doesn't repeat itself, but Shadows were too busy playing their own series at the time. But what has happened here? Psycho, that's audacious.
I don't know, Jeff. It's happened again. We saw Aggro Biker do it before. He tipped it into his own net, and I believe all we got was an oopsie. This time, there's not going to be any chatting around it, because that was a massive mistake in the context of the series. But thankfully, he's there to get grips with that touch. The ball filtered forward from defence, and BAE's Merlins are going to need some sort of a shot back into this.
And Shadow goals do typically come in pairs. Merlins have to make sure to break that streak. Padius challenging off that backwall. Greyman does well to catch the Real Zero. Already presses himself high, and I love the way that Padius knows that that offense is as good as dead. He's got to get himself ready. Batten the hatches, ladies and gentlemen. REF Shadows are coming. The Real Zero bow with 100 boost has an opportunity for a 0-second play. Aggro Biker won't get, and all of a sudden, those colours start to switch. Lord Padius has actually set it up for the Shadows. This would be heartbreak. But a strike wasn't going to find the target regardless. The ground was there to stop. Overtime is reached once more.
How close can you get and not convert? There's a real opportunity, and unfortunately not converted for the Shadows. They always seemingly make it look difficult when they come close to a series win, and here they are again. Lord Padius with a stern 50-50, blocking the par. And the access routes to success for Shadows. They desperately want this series win, especially knowing that they should, on paper, be taking this particular game. Another hoof from Padius says no to that attack.
Aggro Biker, so good not to use his jump too early. That allows him to just save that pinch for a little bit later. Kurt misreads the power. Coming off that ceiling, always going to be a really tough read, but Greyman gets a flick of his own. Deromus is very high in that second man position. Kurt, though, that deeper to make up for it. There's still balance amongst the roster, and that's always what's been so special about the Shadows. But the only balance that matters at the moment is what we see at the top of our screen. Someone's going to let it tip. This could be the chance. Kurt returning the favour to Greyman, but the Real Zero gets that clearance off his line.
And not quite a tight enough turn there from Deromus. Couldn't get to grips with that follow-up touch, and it's going to allow BAE's Merlins to get that attacking chance for themselves. Deromus up for a tricky touch and has pushed it over to safety. Plenty of numbers now for Merlins to advance upon, encroach upon that blue final third as Kurt is bested. The Real Zero up, but it's tipped away by the Greyman, and a wonderful save to keep the play going.
Well, I love how these two teams both make the complicated look so simple. They just make these unbelievable save off their lines, and then there are just these shot opportunities that you feel like should be finding the back of the net, or, you know, you've just got to dribble it to your corner, and all of a sudden it's team pinching the back of your net as well. This is certainly one to watch for the neutral. These are two teams that are the embodiment of chaos. But now past that 2-minute mark, still waiting for that game decider. We've seen high-scoring affairs. We've seen many that have landed like this as well. But there really is not much to separate.
It's a great 50-50 from the grey man, and it's in field once again, but tipped to the side by a desperate Merlin side as that one's off the crossbar. That one's wide, and every opportunity is spilling just to the left, just to the right, just above the bar. It's hopeless. They've got to put something on target, Pig.
You've got to recenter yourself. Everyone's going to be feeling dizzy after that chance. Ball is end-to-end, side to side, up and down, using every single component of the vector. Aggro Biker though just wants to keep this one low. All focus on the Y-axis or the Z-axis if you're a psychopath. 0-0, shot on, bottom corner, that will do it! Game 5 once more. Reverse sweep dreams remain alive for the Merlins. It's magic again.
Unfortunately, this series has taken so long that I think every team still left in the group stage is able to watch this marvel. Game 5 for the final series of the day for the group stage of the Interservices Championship. And it has not been an easy task for Merlins to claw their way back into Game 5. It looked shaky from the get-go for them, and they've clawed it back as we get to see our wonderful crowd today. Horizon's hand in the air. I'm sure he's loving the show, as is everyone else here. And Pegasus, I'm just excited to see what this final 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long it takes has left in store for us.
I'm not going to bother with a prediction. Not for Danny-related reasons. It's not that I don't like them. It's that I wouldn't bear to disrespect this series and act like it has any form of predictability. The only thing that is assured is that we get ourselves some entertaining games of Rocket League. We saw how packed that room is looking right now. Every single seat filled. But you want to make your side jump with your goals. This is the chance. This is where you can do it yet again for the Merlins. This would be an upset against the Shadows. And for the Shadows, this is going to be some sweat wiped off their brow. Reverse sweep once more. What is it about the Merlins?
It's some sort of special energy. And let's not forget, this team very recently formed for the sake of this competition. Definitely don't have the same level of time together as a unit as the likes of the Shadows, who've been around for such an extended amount of time now. We're talking years of experience working with one another, especially the veterans in the Grey Man and Captain Kurt, as the Romus goes for something a little bit funky.
0-0. Keeps it very simple. Just a few high pops to beat that first player, the Romus though. Sees through all those opportunities and really mix up the plan, knows how to get that read. Grey Man wants to find Kurt, and Kurt had a bit of hesitation, but still gets himself on the end of it, and it is a perfect leaping shot to that top corner. And I feel like Kurt doesn't find himself in these offensive positions very often, Psycho, but when he does, everything he touches turns to goals.
Pixel perfect finish. And for Aggro Biker, it was such a difficult reach to angle his car up and really just understand the situation in front of him. It was a difficult one to handle. And BAE's Merlins have just sort of simmered back down to reality perhaps now and have to start and build from zero again.
Feels like a complete series reset. It feels like we're on hallowed ground now. Kurt over to Roma, still might be able to get himself a touch for his troubles. Kurt will cut inside as well, and now you're starting to see all three players that's really high in this occasion. We know that Merlins are likely to get one back. Aggro Biker might have found his chance, but Grey Man, after a few successive saves from his teammates, will be the one to shut down that offensive opportunity, and now one can build for themselves, but I believe Stray Kurt has been sent into the opposing corner for that one.
Great chance for Zero! Oh, zero hope of a save! Slot at the top left of that goal mouth! And Deromas just wanted to let that one sit in front of him. He thought, there's no way a shot gets past me. Well, how's that?
This is what I said. A goal was always going to be guaranteed from the Merlins. It was about creating that gap. It was about not letting them into the series, not giving them the opportunity to rein back control. With this equal scoreline, now it's anyone's game. Now the kitchen sink can be thrown in at your own discretion, whereas beforehand, there are opportunities to try and close it out. Daryl will strike on the grey man. Again, his defensive effort is on show. They're not going to be able to sweep it out of his own half. Daromas takes it off the ceiling. Aggro Biker gets there first. Grey man doesn't do the best on that first touch. Does make up for it with the second. And now Kurt, with the real boost of attack, wanted to be that player to finally make that great escape. But it's actually going to be Daromas with 0 to set up the grey man wonderfully.
Wicked pinch up high for Kurt to follow from here, and he's going to aim infield towards the grey man. Great choice to aim high, but Aggro Biker smart to the play, positioned up on the backboard, recovered with the 10 pad for the following clear as now he takes to the skies once again. Plenty of boost to work with, and we know he's dangerous. We know he can test the defense. All 3 defenders gone, and Lord Thaddeus himself pumping the fists in elation for a second.
And this is what this series has all been about. All 3 defenders had to be burnt. All 3 attackers had to be utilised. This is a 6-man game. No one taking it by storm. You need to bring it all together if you want to crown yourself the winners at the end of this series. And it's the reverse sweep maestros, the Merlins, that look like they might have done it, but there is still time.
And all energy from the RAF Shadows faces gone. And they cannot afford to take these next couple minutes easy. They're going to have to work to fight their way back into this. And it's going to need some real tenacity. This has been the team who's taken a massive advantage through majority of the series, just through their sheer numbers in attack. And the shots registered as Daromas is now going to spill a ball in field. Grey man there to follow. There's the response they needed. 3-2.
This is a team with experience. This is a team that has been in this position in a multitude of occasions. And sure, the new kids on the block, they certainly do bite, but the old guard will look to live up to that name. That fortress is built up. They're looking to be those gatekeepers of the top 3 and further later down the bracket. But for now, they've just got these final 80 seconds to look on to. Still a goal they must pick up, even to have dreams of an overtime position. But this is a wonderful drag from Bike and a pinch as well. Looks favourable for that back wall. It was well read by Daromas. And now, as he looks to play for that 50, that demo comes out instead. Aggression comes out once more. That is a potential shooting opportunity instead. Send wayward.
Could have been an easy chance for Merlins, but I'm not sure they're going to worry too much. They've got the lead, and all they need to do is burn those precious seconds off of the clock. As Aggro Biker now aims to push the ball infield. Daromas for a heavy dunk, and the grey man perfectly placed to push the ball back infield, but the numbers are high for the blue side, and it's going to be difficult to feed forwards.
And they've heard that final ping now, and this is going to go slow as you could ever imagine for the Merlins, and quick as a flash for the Shadows. 10 seconds already gone of that 30, and it's on the wrong half of the pitch if you're expecting an overtime. Grey man both looking to change that, and there's options on the inside and not that far post as well, but that misflip could see the end of this game. Kurt though not going to let go that quickly. Daromas pops up once more. Thaddeus quick onto that ball. Daromas is just able to reach it. Gets 100 boost as well for his troubles. But that's the nail. Sets in the coffin. It's the second reverse sweep on stream. The Icemen showing they are the team to show off their experience. The Merlins secure themselves around 7.
Unbelievable performance from, in every respect, the underdogs. The third team from the British Army Esports against the second on paper from the RAF, and what a performance it was. Moving forward to tomorrow, it's going to be elation in the British Army Esports camp, and I'm sure the crowd have reacted to that very positively indeed. There is Fezzi in the centre of your screens. I know he's going to be excited for the lads. And on the left-hand side, the RAF, well, it happens. It's going to have to be something they shrug off and mentally cope with moving forward to tomorrow, Pegasus. But ultimately, that is the seeding stage of the competition. Done and dusted. The results set in stone moving forward to tomorrow. So there is going to be a lot left on the table to play for, Pegasus.
The in-services scene, Psycho, is ridiculous. Frankly, it's ridiculous. We look at all these teams and we're like, oh, which teams have upset potential? I'll give you your answer, Psycho. All of them. All of them. At any opportunity, a team can just step up and win a game, which we would say they have absolutely zero right doing so. But Merlins have proven they are worthy of that today. They can fight themselves out from the gutter, and not just in a series situation. We saw it to the specific game. They were making changes in between those 5 minutes to try and take down an extremely experienced roster. So when you are looking forward to that top 6, sure, we've had that seeding section. Sure, we think we have an idea of who the best teams are. But it's about who shows up on the day ultimately. And at this point, it could quite literally be anyone, which is why you at home have got to make sure you're following on whatever social you are watching with those notifications on, because you will not want to miss that action.
Absolutely not. And if I'm not mistaken, that does actually solidify the Merlins roster as 3rd seed overall. Absolutely unbelievable if that is the case. 4 wins to 3 losses, their record. And of course, the actual standings haven't quite been swapped around for the Merlins, but they did take that series with a massive grin on their faces too. RF Shadows still in contention as being one of the underdog favourites, if you like, to potentially eke out a win at large in the Interservice Championship. But BAE's Falcons, also a shock factor for us, Pegasus. They went unbeaten today. 7 wins, 0 losses, and the momentum just unfazed for them.
But Falcons are always a team that have potential to just sweep through an entire bracket. We saw it at times as well during the Pro League, especially a little bit earlier into the season. That started to drop off a little bit later, but this is a team that is back. They've seen how that campaign has gone, and they're looking to build up the back of those performances and reach new peaks. But that's a similar story. Once again, I feel like I could say for every single one of these rosters. This is the true definition of a growing scene, and growing like cress. I'm seeing improvement daily.
Absolutely so. And for everyone who's participated so far today, and in potentially the 1v1s yesterday as well, it has been a magical experience for all. And of course, we wanted to give a massive thank you to British Esports for all of the facilities that they've helped provide for today, and also to all the organisers behind the scene. And boy, are there a lot to make something like this happen. The likes of Stelios, Fezzi and Dills are the representatives across the Tri-Services for Rocket League, putting together these rosters and making sure that they can give their best experience on the day. And of course, people like yourself, Pegasus, who have joined us in the commentary booth as special guests on the day. It's been an absolute pleasure for myself to jump in as well. But I'd love to be able to have a chat with the man himself, Stelios, who's put together this broadcast package for us today. Of course, a massive thank you for Jonah as well, who's just beside me on the right-hand side, who put together this particular package. And it's been a wonderful day. So any closing thoughts for yourself, Pegasus?
I'm so excited for tomorrow. This has been amazing. I came in a little bit of a tap-in merchant for the final 2 series, but you bet that I'll be back tomorrow for that action, and everyone at home should be as well.
Absolutely so. Do not miss the action tomorrow. We're going to kick off, I believe, 10 a.m. in the morning UK time. Tomorrow's schedule rather remains unchanged. Today we had an early start due to a potential Rocket League update, and it's a good job we did, because I believe that's only 12 minutes away now. So thank you very much, Stelios and the extended team for making that change. And moving forward to tomorrow, Pegasus, we are looking forward to it. The players are looking forward to it, and we will see you tomorrow.